Some familiar names on this Fort Wayne Comet team, including Dennis Kravchenko, and takes the opening draw with Kenton Miller, and we're underway here in the first period between the Thunder and the Komets. Well, Fort Wayne wins the opening draw. Kenton Miller brings it back behind his own net for Paul Rodriguez, far side corner of his own zone, wrapping it back around for Matthew Brodeur, near side wall here for Mike Bergen, chip to center looking for James Henry, but played back at the opposite blue line by Bobby Shea, number 17 in the white sweater. Mason Baptista, number 9 here for Fort Wayne. Back over for Bobby Shea to his defensive partner Curtis Leonard. Now flipped over for Sean Szydlowski, number 27, and white dumped inside the Adirondack zone, and Matthew Brodeur will knock it free. Here as the Thunder look to bring it out, Kenton Miller off of his stick. Szydlowski's able to force it free to Brodeur for Adirondack, and Szydlowski re-enters. Shot from the far side, misses wide. Miller looks to step back up, and a shot from the far side circle there by Ryan Lowney is blockered aside by Mantha. Thunder can't clear. Loic Marcotte, former member of the Adirondack Thunder, keeps it alive. Now to Marc-Olivier Roy. Far side now for Ryan Lowney. Bangs up the wall, back behind that for Marcotte. Far side circle, looking to lift it out in front here for Binkley. Near side with a shot deflected in front, but just wide. Matthew Brodeur looking to knock it free here for Paul Rodriguez. Able to kick it out to center ice. And the Thunder make their first change of the evening. 1 minute and 20 seconds into the first period. An awfully long amount of time for that line to be out there. James Henry through center. Able to knock it back inside of the Fort Wayne zone. It's on goal and turned aside by Langigan. Count that as the Thunder first shot of the night. Now a steal here by Shane Conacher. From the circle, a shot save made by Langigan. The first try was blocked, but now the Thunder are able to recover. Comes back out to center for Justin Hodgman. Throws it inside the Adirondack zone. Spins around behind the net for Desmond Bergen. Able to swing it free, but it's picked off in front of the net by Artur Tinulin. And Brian Ward spins it free through center. 2 minutes gone here in the first period. Still haven't seen our first whistle of the game. Daniel Maggio into the zone for Hodgman. Far side here for Zach Lorazza, back inside of his offensive zone. Spun aside by Adirondack. Here's Brian Ward flipping it off the glass, but Maggio keeps it into the blue line. Now for Hodgman at the circle, but it's knocked all the way back out to center, and chasing it back is Anthony Cortez. And the Thunder and the Komets both make a change. 17:40 left here in the scoreless first period. Cortez inside of his own zone, skating through center, near side here for Maggio. Bumps off a check there from Blake Thompson. Adam Larkin swings it around his own net for Adirondack. To the far side wall for Terrence Wallen. Up the half wall, kept alive by Bobby Shea. Wallen gets it back behind his own net now for Blake Thompson. Thompson looks at his surroundings. Szydlowski charging at him, gets it to Terrence Wallen, flipping it free now to center for John Edward. First professional shift, skates in over the Adirondack line, or the Fort Wayne line, beg your pardon. It goes behind the Comet net. Now far side point, it's Matthew Brodeur. Through traffic and wide, no one in front there as the traffic was along the opposite ends of the crease. Szydlowski finds it through center, looking for Baptista, stepping in over the Adirondack line, high slot, working to the near side wall, stepping up is Bobby Shea, near side circle, Shea misses the puck, and here come the Thunder the other way as Mercier picks it off from him. Up the ice to Edward, number 12 in red, dumps it to the near side corner and goes off for a change. Still no whistle here, 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the opening period. No score over the line, it's brought inside the Adirondack zone for a whistle, finally. A Queensbury Hotel icing against the Fort Wayne Komets. 16:36 to go in the opening period. No score. Shots are 2-1 in favor of Adirondack. Well, the first period of tonight's game is brought to you by Saratoga Sundress, the official sundress boutique of the Adirondack Thunder. Face off here to the left of Langigan. Kenton Miller to take the draw for Adirondack. Unable to win it. It's back behind the net now for Bobby Shea. Near side. Picked up by Marcus Basara. Stolen in front by Harrison with a shot. And a save made by Langigan after the Komets gave it away, but Tim Harrison with a great look there. This game remains scoreless, 16:27 to go here in the first period. Getting hungry? Well, after the game, head over to Downtown City Tavern, just 2 blocks away for mouth-watering gourmet burgers, wood-fired pizza and wings, and the best craft brew selection on this side of the Hudson. Visit Downtown City Tavern today. Face off here to the left of Langigan inside of the Fort Wayne zone. Kenton Miller takes the draw, wins it out. Shot for Harrison from the circle. Right off the face-off, turned aside by the blocker of Langigan. And Tim Harrison looks to retreat back inside of his own zone. Centers a pass for Kenton Miller. They're out through center for James Henry off of his stick. Back out to center. Here's Wah. Near side over the line for Marcotte. Losing the puck just as he enters the Adirondack zone, but able to recover up the half wall. Now for Binkley. A shot from the point out in front. Basara taking a whack at it. And Mantha makes the save, and now Mantha with the windmill opportunity. to try to knock it away. Able to keep it out. Doesn't hold on to it. Comes out to center. And Blake Thompson chips it in. 4 minutes and 10 seconds gone here in the first period. No score between Fort Wayne and Adirondack. First time the Komets have been in Glens Falls since 2005. The Thunder were, or the Adirondack had the frostbite. Troy Burke up the near side wall, trying to skate past Tinulin. Troy Burke, the former member of the Fort Wayne Komets, skates in over the Komet line, dropping it back for Brian Ward. Backhander now in front for Burke, trying to slam it on cage. Denied by Langigan. Now Burke tries to swing one through the goal mouth. Picked up by Desmond Bergen, a shot out in front, paddle to the side by Langigan and cleared to center for Tinulin. Stepping in over the Adirondack line, far side circle, waits for his team to step back into the play. Here's Maggio with a blast in front. That skips over the Adirondack net. Here's Tinulin, far side circle in the Adirondack zone, forced to center by Dylan Olsen. Nice play by Olsen, trying to knock it free. Now here's Shane Conacher in over the line with Troy Burke. Conacher, a shot from the circle, hits a skate of Bobby Shea. Skips back over for Tinulin, who has some trouble with it. Conacher is able to pickpocket him. Conacher near side here for Mike Bergen. Down low for a shot for Mercier, and he just skips it wide. Mike Bergen with a blast, hits Tinulin. Now for Dennis Kravchenko, back inside of his own zone, flipping it over for Zach Lasara, but it's kept alive by Matthew Brodeur. Near side, Mike Bergen out in front for Edward. A shot that skips just wide. Great looks here for the Thunder, but you want to look at the defensive play for Fort Wayne. Not too hot here in the first period. Plenty of turnovers. The Thunder have yet to take advantage. Here's Mercier off of another turnover. Wallen with a blast. It's blocked in front. Caught down there by Kravchenko. Maggio is the one who took the blunt of that block. Now out in front, a great setup off of another Fort Wayne turnover. And it's cleared to center by Szydlowski. Inside of the Adirondack zone, now it's Baptista. Near side corner, tangling up with Matthew Brodeur. 14-10 left here in the first. No score between Adirondack and Fort Wayne. John Edward from the red line at center. Puts it to the far corner boards, the Fort Wayne zone. Paul Rodriguez skips it free back behind the Fort Wayne net just for a second, as Szydlowski is able to clear it out to center. And it's taken back by Baptista the other way. Larkin's able to get a handle on it. Ryan Lowney from the far side blue line finds it at his feet. It's behind his leg. And that's also behind the blue line for an offside call against the Komets. 13:45 to go here in the scoreless first period. You're listening to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Back in 1956, Whiteman Chevrolet was Glens Falls and Saratoga's local Chevrolet dealer, and today they're still doing what's right for their customers. Whiteman Chevrolet has been finding the right vehicle that fits their customers' wants and needs at a great price. That's why their customers keep coming back. Whiteman Chevrolet is part of the community. They're your neighbors you can trust and the home of fair dealing and friendly service for 3 generations. Whiteman Chevrolet in Glens Falls and right around the corner.
You don't have to travel far from home to get an outstanding college experience. The small classes and personal attention at SUNY Adirondack help you meet the most rigorous academic standards found at any college or university. And as a SUNY campus, SUNY Adirondack's credits transfer to many 4-year colleges. Several of our programs will lead you straight into employment, where you will see the rewards of your knowledge and skills immediately. And with on-campus housing now available, it is more convenient than ever. Call 1-888-SUNY-ADK or visit our website, sunyacc.edu. SUNY Adirondack, experience it for yourself.
No score here in the first period. Evan Pivnik back here with you from Coolin Schering Arena. Shots are 5-3 in favor of the Thunder, as Adirondack wins the draw here inside of their own zone. Blake Thompson off the stick of James Henry, back inside of the Fort Wayne end. It's Langigan, far corner boards, knocked aside by Curtis Leonard. Thrown back behind the net now. Here come the Komets looking to break it out to center. Leonard again, tangling up with Tim Harrison. Near corner as Harrison gets the brunt of a hit from Leonard. Blake Thompson back behind his own net. 13:23 to go in the first period. As the Thunder are able to clear out to center, this will go all the way down just wide of the cage, so it's a Queensberry Hotel icing against Adirondack here with 13:16 to go in the first period. Well, face off here to the left of Olivier Matthew, who again got his last start back on Sunday afternoon when the Thunder fell 3-2 in a shootout to Worcester. A 12-round shootout that saw only 1 goal from Adirondack. And that was Terrence Wallen. The Thunder get back in that situation as the puck skips out of play here. Souvenir for a fan in the Bud Light box. 13:11 to go in the first period, no score. Thunder are about 15% in the shootout this season. Obviously a number they want to get back up, and going into the home stretch of the season here, all points are obviously important, and the Thunder have not clinched the playoff spot yet. Fort Wayne has. They did it back on Wednesday night after their win over Reading in overtime. Maggio from the near side blue line. A shot gets blocked there by Adirondak. Troy Burke tangling up behind the far side wall here by getting tangled up with Russell Jordan. Going back behind the net for Zach Loraza. Near side corner now, it's Maggio. Up the wall, tangled up with Brian Ward. Maggio's trying to knock it free. Comes to Desmond Bergen. Bangs it up the wall now for Dylan Olsen. Olsen back over for Desmond Bergen. Thunder look to break it out to center. Here's Brian Ward. Over the line now, far side with Troy Burke. Great play to poke it off his stick, though, by number 3 in White Cortez. Punch back the other way here by Fort Wayne inside of the Adirondack zone. Mike Bergen has it at his feet, skips in front of his own net, then gives it away through center. Here's Binkley dancing through him. Binkley out in front, a shot and a save made by Mantha. As Jason Binkley, the defenseman there, had an opportunity to step up. Thunder able to move it the other way. Shane Conacher lifts it out to center. Ryan Lowney will chase it back. Product of Ferris State University. 12:09 to go here in the first period, no score. Lowney back in over the Adirondack line. A shot from the circle deflects into the netting, out of play. No score, 12:03 to go here in the first period. And hey fans, be sure to check out ECHL.TV where you can follow the Adirondack Thunder all season long, or subscribe to an all-access pass to catch over 900 ECHL games, all in high definition. Subscriptions are available now, and you can watch on Apple TV, Chromecast, and Amazon Fire TV, so head on over to ECHL.TV and never miss a moment of ECHL hockey. Face off to the right of Olivier Mantha. False start called on the draw. And Dennis Kravchenko will be asked to leave the dot, and Mason Baptista will take his place. Szydlowski on the right wing as the Thunder sent out Mercier, Wallen, and Edward. Mercier wins the draw, but it's picked up by Fort Wayne. A shot from the blue line. That skips just wide. Picked back up by Matthew Brodeur. Far side wall of his own zone. Wrapping it back around for Pierre-Luc Mercier. And Mercier out to center now for Terrence Wallen. Over the far side line now for Brodeur. Flips one out in front. Edward was there, but couldn't bang it home. Well, Edward's been all over the ice tonight here for Adirondack thus far in his pro debut. Pinned up against the wall by Kravchenko now is Edward with 11.5 left in the first period. No score between the Adirondack and Fort Wayne. Curtis Leonard, the defenseman for Fort Wayne, puts it on his own net where Langigan will hold on for a whistle. Fort Wayne will change up their squad as well as Adirondack. 11:27 to go here in the first period, no score. The list begins a 3-3 for Adirondack for the second straight weekend here tonight and tomorrow afternoon for St. Patrick's Day against the Wheeling Nailers, a 3 o'clock start. And then the Thunder will be in Brampton on Sunday at 2 p.m. So a lot of games in a little amount of time for the Adirondack Thunder this weekend, but then they can lay low this next week before taking on Manchester in another 2-game series on the road. Thunder set it up. Desmond Bergen, a shot off the draw and a save made by Langigan. With 11:24 to go in the first, no score. Great setup win by Adirondack, but Desmond Bergen put it right into the chest of Langigan. Well, Kent Miller sets it up again. Left wing is James Henry. On the right is Paul Rodriguez. A late line change there by Fort Wayne. Olsen with a blast out in front. It gets blocked, and Miller turns it on net. And Langigan is able to turn it aside, as now it's picked up by Jordan. But for Fort Wayne, inside the Adirondack zone, it skips on goal. Mantha is able to cover up, but not before taking a face full of snow from the incoming Jordan. 11:11 left here in the first period. No score. Shots are 7-3 in favor of Adirondack. A lot of former Thunder players on this Fort Wayne squad. Not playing tonight, Vital Cote, as well as Justin McDonald. Played a little bit earlier this season. Ryan Culkin as well. Face off to the right of Olivier Mantha inside of the Adirondack zone. Brian Ward wins it back here for Adam Larkin. Larkin on the backhand, near side now for Shane Conacher. Up the ice now for Troy Burke. In on a breakaway. Burke on the backhand sails it over the net. Oh, we've seen Burke try that backhand move plenty of times. And we've seen him be successful on it, but not there. Great setup, though, by Adirondack, trying to score the first goal of the game. Burke out to center now, Conacher. Far side over the line for Blake Thompson. Far side circle. Wade steps up and shoots, and a save made by Langigan. He holds on. 10:43 to go in the first. No score. Troy Burke vying for his 8th goal of the year. Would have been point number 20 in game number 14. Center remains a scoreless game here. 10:43 to go in the first period. Face off now to the left of Langigan. Mercier will take the draw. John Edward will step onto his left. Tim Harrison back at the top of the circle. Mike Bergen and Matthew Brodeur will serve as the point men if Mercier can win the draw here. Now a false start called against Mercier, and John Edward will come in to take the draw. Well, John Edward signed after the Binghamton Devils after his season at UMass Lowell ended. Now he's with the Adirondack Thunder. Edward trying to pick the puck up far side wall, skimmed out to center now, and the Komets will take it in over the line as Kravchenko dropping a pass back for Szydlowski, who sails one over the net wide. Picked back up by Lowney, a shot through traffic, deflected wide and hit the far side post. Plenty of traffic in front for that Lowney shot. Tim Harrison trying to knock it past Szydlowski, picked up by Brodeur inside of his own zone. Now Mike Bergen will play it up the wall for John Edward, poked off his stick by Ryan Lowney. Halfway through the first period, no score. Binkley back over for Lowney. Into the zone now for Hodgman. He steps up in the circle, a shot and a save made by Mantha, and Hodgman picks up his own rebound and looks to knock it back down to the blue line as his team is changing. Hodgman does a full tour of the zone, a quick shot from the far side, sailing over the net by Tinulin, and here come the Thunder the other way, looking to come on an odd man rush. Mercier's pass for Harrison, a little bit too far for him, and it's played back inside of the zone by Curtis Leonard, out for Bobby Shea. Over the line for Tinulin, stretch pass looking for him, past his stick, all the way down for a Queensberry Hotel icing with 9:35 to go in the first period, no score. Well, the Peppermill Restaurant, one of the area's most popular dining spots, is the perfect place for dinner before Thunder games. With great food and fast service, you can have a delicious meal and get to the game with plenty of time to spare. So see their menu online at peppermillsgf.com. Peppermill Restaurant, located at the Midtown Shopping Center in South Glens Falls. Face-off upcoming. It's won back by the Thunder. Olsen with a shot. Hits a man out in front, and Miller picked back up now far side. A shot skipping it wide is Desmond Bergen. Olsen now out in front. A shot gets blocked and settled down by Hodgman, who has some trouble clearing. Kenton Miller sending him right into the glass on a heavy hit. Leonard back inside of his own zone for Bobby Shea. Throws it inside the Adirondack zone, and I believe this will go into the bench out of play. 9:14 to go in the first period. We have no score from Cool Insuring Arena. Shots are 9-4 in favor of the Adirondack Thunder. We saw in the early part of the period, the Adirondack Thunder were trying to take advantage of the Fort Wayne miscues inside of their defensive zone. And Fort Wayne, they made a lot of them, but the Thunder could not convert, either missing the net wide or Langigan coming up big for Fort Wayne. Neutral zone face-off here, won back by Adirondack. Blake Thompson puts it back inside of the Comet zone. Here's Lowney. Turnover out in front. Great play there for the Thunder, trying to knock it home, but they couldn't get a shot on net. Conacher, near side corner now for Troy Burke. Throws one out in front of the back door, looking for Conacher, but Conacher pushed it wide. Now Conacher sets it back up. Far side circle here for Adirondack. Throws one out in front, near side, a shot, score! Adam Larkin, his first professional goal, and the Thunder lead it 1-0 with 8:47 to go in the first period. Number one for Larkin, a great setup for the Adirondack Thunder as they take the lead here in the first period. Shane Conacher up the far side, went down in front, saw Larkin spinning towards the net, and he darted right for it, making no mistake. And the right-handed shot, number 26 from Michigan. Able to strike first here for Adirondack. Larkin from Conacher. At 11-13, now Wallen spins it out to center for Tim Harrison. And Matthew Brodeur with a lot of room out through center, but never gave it to him. 8:20 to go in the first period. Thunder lead at 1-0. Harrison drop pass, broken back up now by Maggio inside of the zone. Nice play by Brodeur, but stolen back the other way on the backhand. Baptista, and a save made by Mantha. As he holds on, Brodeur got down to block some of the pass, but Baptista, it definitely cut down the momentum. He still skated in all alone, got the backhand off, but Olivier Mantha able to make the save and keep this game just a 1-0 game with 8:10 to go in the first period. Adirondack leading it 1-0 on Adam Larkin's first professional goal. Face off now to the left of Mantha. Kenton Miller takes the draw inside of his own zone, wins it straight back now for Desmond Bergen. And I'll skate it through the neutral zone, up the wall now for James Henry. Cuts it inside of the Fort Wayne end. Bobby Shea tangling up with the fellow number 16 of Paul Rodriguez. Thunder get it back behind the net. Rodriguez from James Henry. Now around Desmond Bergen. Behind the net now for Kenton Miller. Miller stays on the puck. Top of the far side circle. Spins around Bobby Shea. Now James Henry picks it back up. Out to the point for Desmond Bergen. Back over for James Henry. Looking over for Kenton Miller. Far side circle. Henry's able to pick it back up for Adirondack. Backhand pass behind the net for Desmond Bergen. Crunched up against the wall by Leonard. And then taken down. Puck squirts free now behind the net. A pass out in front and the shot scaling just wide by Paul Rodriguez. Olsen with a shot out in front on the rebound. Rodriguez drills it just wide. Well, Dylan Olsen trying to keep everyone awake with that slap shot from the blue line. Bobby Shea out to center for Fort Wayne. In over the line. Skates an onside. Spin move there by Shea. Bottom of the circle. Pulls back. Here's Fort Wayne. Finishes the change. Here's Binkley near side circle. Back out in front for Loraza. Shot hits off the side of the cage. Tinulin trying to bank it off of Mantha. Can't get it to go. Wow. Far side for Shea. Shot gets blocked. Here's Tinulin. Back behind the net. Spins around the Adirondack cage. Crisscrosses out to the near side point now for Binkley. Back to Wah. Over for Tinulin again. Thrown back behind the net by Dylan Olsen. Nice hand pass gets it over for James Henry. Now Paul Rodriguez back inside of his own zone for Adirondack. Desmond Bergen skates it out to center. James Henry on the backhand. Got a piece of Binkley in the process of dumping in, but a good dump in. 6.5 left here in the first period. Thunder lead it 1-0 thanks to an Adam Larkin goal. Lake Thompson looking to center underneath the stick of Brian Ward all the way down, and another Queensberry Hotel icing called against Adirondack, as the Thunder thought they were well past the red line when they dumped it in, but referees say otherwise. 6:24 to go in the first period. Thunder lead it 1-0. Officials for tonight's game, linesman Adam Wood and Matt Brady, and the referee Alex Normandin. Face-off coming up to the left of Olivier Mantha. 6:24 to go in the first period. Shots 11-5 for the Thunder, who lead it 1-0. Brian Ward wins the draw, draws a penalty off the face-off. He gets taken down, picked up by Binkley, and the Thunder will head to the man advantage for the first time tonight with 6:18 to go in the first period. Well, the Thunder power play, believe it or not, has made great strides over the past few weeks. He's now sit at 19.3%, 47 goals on 244 attempts. That's good for second in the North Division and fourth in the ECHL.
2 minutes for slashing. Basara, 2 minutes for slashing.
Slashing the call against Marcus Basara. Well, Thunder the current summer power play. Penalty kill for Fort Wayne, 86%. 33 goals against on 235 chances. James Henry will take the draw here for Adirondack. Wins it back to the circle for Troy Burke. Scaling the blue line now, Desmond Bergen. Far side for Conacher, out in front. Gets blocked, picked back up by Fort Wayne, but they can't clear. Desmond Bergen back over the corner for Conacher, trying to one-touch pass for Henry. But getting involved is Maggio. Puck turns on the cage, and Langigan makes the save. 6:02 to go in the first period. Thunder lead at 1-0 with 1:44 left on the Curtis Lumber power play, as Marcus Basara is in the box for slashing. Game with 6:18 left in the first period. Shots 11-5 here for Adirondack. Face off here to the left of Langigan inside of the offensive zone for Adirondack. Henry ties a man up at the dot, picked back up by Fort Wayne, as Curtis Leonard gets it through center and puts it back inside of the Adirondack zone. And he definitely took his time skating through center there, making sure to kill off as many seconds as he could on his team's penalty kill. 1.5 left on the Curtis Lumber power play. Terrence Wallen back out to center now for Troy Burke, in over the Fort Wayne line, drops it back now for James Henry, spins back to the circle for Burke, poked out to the slot, picked up by Szydlowski, and he sails it the length of the ice. So 2 quick clears there for Fort Wayne. 55 gone on the Curtis Lumber power play. Here's Desmond Bergen now for Adirondack. Spins back through center now for Conacher, in over the line for Troy Burke, but it's sent the other way by Fort Wayne. as Luke Marcotte and Shane Conacher will tangle back up. Bobby Shea gets it through center now for Fort Wayne as his team shorthanded. Binkley misses the pass, but he's able to recover and launch it the length of the ice. And Mantha was able to make the save, puts it between his legs, and that just went wide of the net. Oh, Olivier Mantha almost coughed one up there for Adirondack. But Dylan Olsen moves it the other way now for Mercier. Thunder look to get back onside. 30 seconds to go in the Curtis Lumber power play. As now Dylan Olsen. Backhand pass to center now for Mercier. Over the line now for Matthew Brodeur. Throwing it back behind the Fort Wayne net with 15 to go in the power play. Miller wraps it back around. Hits a stanchion. Comes back out to center, and the Fort Wayne Komets clear. And that will do it for the power play for Adirondack. Well, back to full strength now as Adirondack almost suffered a goal against. Mercier inside the zone, out in front. Turned aside by Langigan as Baptista and Brodeur tangle up. Mercier back down the wall. Baptista gets it again. Cut off by Kenton Miller. Back up the far side glass, spinning back behind the net as he's able to get the puck free. Great play by Kenton Miller. Now he's finally cut off there, and Miller draws a penalty, and the Thunder back to the man advantage when we return. 3:55 to go in the first. Adirondack leads at 1-0. Listen to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Get well, be well, stay well. Health Authority. Our cells are filled with wellness. Health Authority.
Conveniently located in the Midtown Plaza in South Glens Falls, the Health Authority store is your local source for essential oils, salt lamps, a huge variety of herbal tea products, vitamins for all ages, sports nutrition products, and luxury beauty products. Enrich your mind, body, skin, and overall health with the Health Authority store. March is National Nutrition Month, and the Health Authority store has everything you need to get your nutrition on track. Stop in to see the large selection of protein powders and meal replacements, as well as vitamins and supplements for all ages. Plus, the new lines are starting to trickle in. Try the new Monk Aromatherapy diffusers. They'll let you carry your aromatherapy with you everywhere. The Health Authority store, located in the Midtown Plaza, South Glens Falls.
Get well, be well, stay well. Health Authority. Our cells are filled with wellness. Health Authority.
Curtis Leonard to the box here for the Fort Wayne Komets. So the Thunder are on a Curtis Lumber power play. Second time tonight. Evan Pimnick back here with you. 3:55 to go in the first period. Thunder already lead at 1-0. 2-minute penalty against Leonard. Holding the call as Kenton Miller drew that entire play, or the entire penalty, with his great puck movement. Well, the Thunder win the draw. Shane Conacher at the blue line as it popped over his stick. Under 4 minutes to go in the first period. Thunder looking for a little more promising effort on the power play following their last attempt. Troy Burke back inside of the Fort Wayne zone. Spins to the corner, gets knocked away by Bobby Shea. Puck deflects out of play. Off the stick of Shea. 3:37 to go in the first period. Faceoff remains inside of the Adirondack offensive zone. Here with 1:42 to go in the Curtis Lumber power play. Shots 11-6 here for Adirondack. A little discussion going on between Bobby Shea, James Henry, and Troy Burke. And Bobby Shea, no stranger to stirring things up, is known for it over his professional career, whether it be in the AHL or the ECHL. Here's James Henry to take the draw for Adirondack. Wins it back to the blue line, keeping it alive. Shane Conacher near side wall now for Desmond Bergen, looking to skate free back behind the net now as Wallen looks to get it right back for Adirondack. It's stolen the other way, and the Thunder look to get it back behind the net. Here's Desmond Bergen, minute and a half to go in the Curtis Lumber power play. Back behind the net, Wallen cuts off Shea, and Shea holds up Wallen against the boards and sends it all the way down. As we have a whistle on the play, and it looks like both Terrence Wallen and Bobby Shea will skate off here. And the referee's keeping things died down early on. Shea was holding Wallen up against the boards for quite a while. And sportsmanlike conduct, I believe, the call against both of them. And the player still remains 5-on-4. So the Thunder still have the Curtis Lumber power play for 1:18. 3:13 left in the first period. Adirondack leads at 1-0. Next, the faceoff will come back inside of the Adirondack zone because that's where the puck was when the whistle was blown. Brian Ward takes the draw here. Kenton Miller on his left. Matthew Brodeur out there. Pierre-Luc Mercier and Dylan Olsen. Oh, look at the penalty call.
Shea, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Shea, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. For Adirondack, number 10, Terrence Wallen. Wallen, 2 minutes for tripping. Wallen, 2 minutes.
Tripping for Wallen. Unsportsmanlike conduct for Bobby Shea. We still skate 5-on-4 here with 1:05 left on the Curtis Lumber power play. 3 minutes left in the first period. Brian Ward drops it back for Brodeur. Throws it back behind the Fort Wayne net. Near side corner now it's for Kenton Miller. Tangled up with Binkley. Back behind the net now Lowney. Throws it off of his stanchion out to center. And Dylan Olsen looks to get it back for Adirondack. He does. Steps back over the line now. Mercier. High slot for Brian Ward. Pokes it towards the front of the cage. Langigan the save. And he holds on with 45 to go on the Fort Wayne penalty kill. 2:40 to go here in the first period. Adirondack leads it 1-0 on Adam Larkin's first professional goal. Larkin's goal assists to Shane Conacher back at 11:13 of the first period. That gave the Thunder the 1-0 lead. James Henry takes the draw here for Adirondack with 45 more seconds to go on his team's power play. Wins the puck back now to Desmond Bergen. Scales the blue line back over for Troy Burke. Near side circle. Burke back behind the net, looks to set it up now. Brian Ward far shot, or a shot there out in front, turned aside by Langigan. Now near side again. Troy Burke looks one out in front. Far side now for Edward. A shot that gets stopped before it went to the front of the net. One-timer for Shane Conacher, snaps his stick in half, and the save made by Langigan as he holds on with 22 to go on the Curtis Lumber power play. Well, Shane Conacher had a great look there. Got a shot off, but his stick snapped on him. Another great look there by John Edward as well. Well, here's the face-off to the right of Langigan. Great rebound control on that play by Langigan as well. A lot of bodies in front of the net. Well, Thunder win the draw. Troy Burke from the blue line pokes it down the wall now for Desmond Bergen. Cross-ice pass for Conacher, tries it again, throws it in front for Edward, just under his stick. And the Komets look to clear it out to center. It's La Raza in over the line for Maggio, stepping in with 8 seconds to go on the Thunder power play. Swings one towards the front of the net. That's paddled aside by Mantha. And the Thunder skate it through the neutral zone as the penalty expires. Conacher near side now for Henry. Shooting, save made, big rebound. Mercier can't handle it. And now it's sent back out to center for Mason Baptista. Baptista tangling up with James Henry with under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Adirondack leading it 1-0. Here's Shane Conacher up the far side wall now for James Henry. Poking it the other way is Tinuin, getting back inside the Adirondack zone before getting pressed up against the wall by Mike Bergen. Desmond Bergen the other way here for Adirondack. 1.5 minutes to go in the first period. Too many men here for Fort Wayne as they play the puck just as a man hops over the boards, and the Thunder to the now the third Curtis Lumber power play. On the past 5 minutes. .124 left here in the first period. 1-0 lead for Adirondack. And have the Adirondack Thunder had chances tonight? Yes, they have. Fort Wayne has popped up the puck quite a bit inside of their own zone. Well, Tinuin will serve the penalty here for Fort Wayne. Thunder to the Curtis Lumber power play for the third time tonight. Brian Ward takes the draw here for Adirondack. Pile up there at the center ice dot. Picked aside there by Fort Wayne. It's Curtis Leonard in over the Adirondack line. Far side circle, short-handed. A shot turned aside by Mantha. Well, Mercier spins it out to center. Keeps it in over the Fort Wayne line now for Kenton Miller. Near side circle, throws one towards the cage. Saved by Langigan. Has it pinned up against his right side with the blocker. 1:03 left in the first period. 1:39 left on the too many men penalty against the Komets. Shots are 16-7 here for Adirondack in the first period, and they lead it 1-0. Ryan Ward will take the draw again to the right of Langigan. Face-off win by the Komets. They throw it up the wall, past the glove of Dylan Olsen at the blue line. So Matthew Brodeur gets chased back inside of his own zone. LaRaza looks to scale it back inside of his own zone, but Brodeur strong on the puck there through center. They're able to move it back inside of the Fort Wayne end, and Maggio steals it from him. With 45 to go in the first period, the Komets break it out to center. 3-on-2 short-handed, a shot from LaRaza, and a save made by Mantha. As the Thunder still have the power play, a minute 15 left, with 39 seconds left in the first period, and Adirondack up by a goal. The Thunder are doubling the Fort Wayne shot total, 16-8. As the Thunder will have a defensive zone draw as their team's up by a man. James Henry to take the draw. Troy Burke on his left. Thunder win the draw. Here's Troy Burke back behind his own net with 35 to go in the first period. And a minute 9 left on the Thunder man advantage. It will carry over. The Thunder cannot score. Desmond Bergen swings it back to the neutral zone for Shane Conacher. Over the line, Troy Burke. Back far side now for Conacher. Throwing in front for Burke. And it's turned aside by Langigan before Burke can grab it. 20 seconds to go in the first. Desmond Bergen. Cross ice pass now for Conacher. Catches it over back for Desmond Bergen. Left wing circle now for Troy Burke. Backhand pass for Desmond Bergen. Throws one towards the front of the cage. Paddle to the side. I think that got the top of Lanigan's stick. 5 seconds left in the first period. It's sent the length of the ice. Mantha is able to make the save. He dishes it to his left, and the horn will sound. Thunder will have 36 seconds of Curtis Lumber power play time when period number 2 begins. But for now, they lead it 1-0 on Adam Larkin's first professional goal. They put 17 shots on net. Only one of them found the back of the net, as the Fort Wayne Komets were able to get 9 to go. As after 20 minutes of play, the Thunder lead it 1-0. We'll stick around during the first intermission as Cody Bascu will join us here during the intermission. But before that, we'll recap that first period with you, and then we'll give you your Red Lobster Queensbury ECHL out of town scoreboard. That's all coming up. You're listening to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Hockey in the Glens Falls region has been a tradition for over 40 years. Like hockey, we have been a tradition as well. This is Jimmy Hunt of Tree Care by Stan Hunt and Hunt's Quality Pest Control. Our experienced and highly trained staff are here year-round for all your tree care, tree removal, tree spraying, lawn care, pest control, and snowplow needs. Whether residential, commercial, or industrial, do what people have done for over 40 years and call the name to trust. Tree Care by Stan Hunt and Hunt's Quality Pest Control. 793-0804.
Cold temperatures and shorter days mean that winter is here. Be prepared with CarQuest Lake George Auto Marine. They have all your winter needs, such as car batteries, plow parts, snowmobile batteries, plugs, and belts. Visit Jody, Bob, and the rest of the crew for the professional friendly service you deserve. CarQuest Lake George Auto Marine is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3. Just a short drive away, located at 1827 Route 9, or call them at 518-668-3800. CarQuest Lake George Auto Marine. One call, and that's all.
Lake George Distilling Company is proud to announce they are the official craft spirit of the Adirondack Thunder. Stop into Heritage Hall during Thunder games to try out the drink of the day made with handcrafted Lake George Distilling Company spirits. After the game, head to your local bar, restaurant, or spirit shop to try the new Lake George Spirits collection featuring Lake George vodka, gin, rum, and bourbon. Indulge in seasonal favorites like apple pie moonshine and Adirondack wildfire whiskey. Located on Route 149 in Fort Anne and on Canada Street in Lake George Village. Lake George Distilling Company, Queen of American Spirit. Please drink responsibly.
Well, back here at Cool Insuring Arena, Evan Pimnick here with you. Adirondack leading it by a score of 1-0 after 20 minutes of play, as Adam Larkin strikes for the Thunder, his first professional goal, obviously his first of the season, as well as Shane Conacher gets the lone assist. A great setup there by Adirondack. Conacher got it back to the circle where Larkin darted from the blue line and put it home, and Adirondack took the 1-0 lead on the Thunder 11th shot of the first period. Well, a lot of penalties in that period. 3 for the Fort Wayne Komets, 1 for the Adirondack Thunder, as the Thunder would be on the power play 3 times, unable to convert. They're still in the middle of their third one. There is, 36 seconds left on the Thunder man advantage when we begin period number 2, but the Thunder are able to get 17 shots on net in that first period alone, and Fort Wayne put 9 on. It was not a great defensive period for Fort Wayne. A lot of turnovers inside of their own zone, and the Thunder unable to capitalize on it But Adirondack with some great looks, and hopefully the looks still carry on when we begin period number 2. We'll step aside. When we come back, Cody Basque will join us up here in the Dave Strader press box. You're listening to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Is there a wedding in your future? The new owners of the Queensberry Hotel invite you to share the start of your lives together in our 1920s-era architectural treasure. With newly remodeled ballrooms and historic lobby, ideal for cocktail receptions. Highly personalized service, convenient overnight accommodations, and a variety of wedding packages from which to choose. Schedule a tour and consultation today. The Queensberry Hotel, downtown Glens Falls.
Sign up for ECHL TV and watch every ECHL game live online. Follow your favorite teams at home and on the road. With live streaming available on your PC, iPad, and iPhone, you'll never be too far away from the action. Never miss a big goal. Relive your favorite ECHL moments in the video archives. And catch every game from around the league live. If ECHL hockey is on, it's on ECHL.tv.
Evan Pimnick back here at Cool Insuring Arena. Adirondack leading at 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Beginning of a 3-3, another one for the Adirondack Thunder, but for the final time in the regular season as the Thunder will take, or currently taking on Fort Wayne, leading at 1-0. They'll take on Wheeling tomorrow at 3 p.m. And there's still time to get your tickets with the Uno's Pizza 4-pack. That includes 4 tickets to the game, 4 Adirondack Thunder hats, 4 games of bowling from Kingpin's Alley, as well as 4 personal pizzas from Uno's Pizzeria and Grill. Over a $200 value, yours for just $64. Get your tickets now. Call 518-480-3355 or visit ECHLthunder.com/4-pack. That's write it all out. 4-pack. F-O-U-R-P-A-C-K. And again, the Thunder will be at Brampton to finish things up on Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. So another game in Brampton. That's the second to last one the Thunder will have to endure up over the up north of the border. Both 2 o'clock games, and the last one coming the last game of the season. But the Thunder will take off after the game tomorrow, after the 3 o'clock start. So hopefully the Thunder will be able to get some rest. And then the last time they go to Brampton is April the 8th. But they had the day off before, so they could shoot up early. So the Thunder can get some rest. Again, it's always tough getting there early in the morning, especially if you play the night before. You get in, anywhere between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning to play at 2 p.m. So it's a bit of a grind getting up to Brampton, but the Thunder are looking to grab some points here because they need it to clinch their spot in the Kelly Cup playoffs. And speaking of which, coming up after that this weekend, the Thunder will be on the road taking on the Manchester Monarchs for 2 straight games. So the Thunder will have an opportunity to crack again the first place spot in against the Manchester Monarchs on the road. They were successful last time. They swept them both Friday and Saturday a couple weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun to see Adirondack get the job done on the road. 2 big road victories for Adirondack, and then the Thunder will finish things up with a Wednesday night game against the Worcester Railers on the road on March 28th, and then we'll take on the Reading Royals on Saturday, the 31st of March for Pucks for Paws night. It's going to be a great night here at Cool Insuring Arena, as $5 for the tickets are donated to an animal charity or animal rescue charity. So get your tickets now on ECHLthunder.com. It's a 7 o'clock game against the Reading Royals, and then join us on Easter. We'll have a 5 o'clock game against the Worcester Railers right here for Cool Insuring Arena. Time's running out here to catch a regular season home game for Adirondack as they wrap it up on April 6th against the Manchester Monarchs. A 7 o'clock game, fan appreciation night. A lot of great giveaways, including a jersey off the back raffle. It's going to be a lot of fun here at Cool Insuring Arena over the next few weeks. We're waiting for Cody Basque to finish up some other media. Very popular guy up here in the Glens Falls area. He's from Whitehall. We'll talk to him in just a little bit. But for now, we'll take a look at the Red Lobster Queensberry ECHL out-of-town scoreboard as the Adirondack Thunder here lead Fort Wayne by a score of 1-0. It's a 2-1 lead for the Utah Grizzlies, who are taking on Manchester. And that's a big game for Adirondack, as you can see Manchester go down. The Grizzlies lead it 2-1 after 20 minutes of play, as the Norfolk Admirals lead it 2-1 over the Greenville Swamp Rabbits right now. That's in Norfolk. No score between Wheeling and Worcester. 20 minutes gone. Thunder fans are rooting for Wheeling. You can't really have Worcester getting any more points. Idaho is at South Carolina. And the Steelheads are scoreless with the Stingrays down in North Charleston tonight after 20 minutes of play. Florida and Orlando are underway about 5.5 minutes into the first period. The Everblades and Solar Bears are scoreless. Cincinnati leads it by a score of 1-0 over the Indy Fuel, and there's no score between Tulsa and Kansas City early on in the first period down in Tulsa. And later tonight, Quad City's taking on Toledo as they are in Moline, Illinois. Rapid City will host Wichita. We'll step aside here. Cody Basque coming up when your turn. Mission Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Not able to get to an Adirondack Thunder hockey game this season? Count on the Poststar and Poststar.com to deliver the game to you. Poststar.com/Thunder will feature game coverage and all the hockey news, photos, videos, and so much more. So check out Poststar.com/Thunder to bring you all the action from center ice to inside the goal line. You won't miss a shot on goal with the Poststar as your Thunder hockey news source. The Poststar and Poststar.com, your #1 source for up-to-the-minute Thunder hockey news. Log on today to Poststar.com.
The Thunder Radio Network hits 95.9 WCQL Queensbury and Talk 1450 WWSC Glens Falls, locally owned by the Regional Radio Group.
Hello, this is Jeffrey Ives, owner of the Jonathan Reed Clothing Store in Aviation Mall. I strongly encourage everyone to come and enjoy the excitement surrounding the Adirondack Thunder as they look to improve on their remarkable season last year. The Thunder have instilled excitement in Glens Falls hockey again, and they deserve all the support we can give them. Jonathan Reed is the official clothier of the Adirondack Thunder, and I invite you to come shop our wonderful selection of Lacoste wear, shoes, and of course our Italian suits and sport coats. Jonathan Reed, the image and the feeling you are looking for.
The U.S. Air Force wants you to know there's a new recruiter in upstate New York. He's Technical Sergeant Adam Bergdorfer, and his office is located at 313 Mount Royal Plaza, Route 9 in Queensbury. Stop by and find out about the exciting opportunities waiting for you in today's Air Force, including their exciting technical training and educational programs. Call Sergeant Bergdorfer at 518-792-8108. This message brought to you by the U.S. Air Force and your station for Adirondack Thunder Hockey. Hits 95.9 and Talk 1450 WWSC.
Hockey.
Back here at Cool Insuring Arena, Evan Pivnik back from the Dave Strader press box. Thunder lead at 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Joined up here in the press box by Cody Basque. First of all, I want to congratulate you, U.S. Olympian. And when people say that to you, you're a U.S. Olympian, that's got to be something you worked your whole life for, and to be able to achieve that goal is probably pretty special to you.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I've been working at the sport of bobsled since I was 8, so to be able to have it come full circle and be able to call myself an Olympian now is absolutely amazing, and hopefully I can get back there one day and come home with a little hardware on my neck next time.
Take me through the day where you found out that you were going to be a U.S. Olympian. Was it a telephone call, an email? What was it?
So I kind of knew leading the weeks leading up. We get selected by points from the World Cup season throughout the season. So I kind of knew weeks leading up, but the day it was announced, we had a meeting in the morning where they announced the team. So we went there, they announced the team, came back to my hotel, and I called my parents together, and I said, hey guys, I'm going to be an Olympian, and they all started crying, and then I called my grandparents, kind of went through the same process with them, so just a lot of happy tears, and yeah, just sharing that moment with my family. Bobsledding is a unique sport. How did you get into it, and was that something that was kind of inspired by being up here in the Capital District area? Yeah, definitely. My grandfather has lived here his whole life, and he started bobsledding when he was in his 30s, just recreationally up in Lake Placid. So growing up, he told me a bunch of stories about his bobsled days, and I always wanted to do it just because hearing his stories. And so when I was 8 years old, he started a junior bobsled program at my school in Whitehall. And I started then, and I've been doing it since. So you kind of got lucky here. You're into the family and then in the area as well. Kind of a 1-2 punch there to get you back into the sport. Any other sports growing up? I played football, baseball, a little bit of basketball. I wrestled, track and field, just about everything.
Just about everything.
Yeah.
Any chance to play any hockey growing up here in this area?
No, I didn't. No.
You get to come up here at any point when you were a kid at the time at Glens Falls Civic Center?
Yeah, quite a few times. This is my first Thunder game, but I've been up here a few times to watch some hockey games.
Now, when you know this community has rallied around you, obviously you have to feel that, when you're on the big stage, and you got to know that your hometown's backing you as well.
Yeah, definitely. The support from my hometown of Whitehall and just the surrounding area has been absolutely amazing, and I don't think I would have been able to make it through the past few months or the past 4 years without the support from everyone around here, and it's just been absolutely amazing.
So you're in the Olympics, and you get to see South Korea, and what was that like for you, being able to go? Obviously, you got to go to many places in your time bobsledding, but was that the pinnacle for you, getting to go and do what you love to do in South Korea?
Yeah, that was incredible. In bobsled, we really only get to go to North America and then Europe, like Germany, Switzerland. So all those countries are kind of similar. So to be able to go over to South Korea and experience that different culture, it's completely different from any other culture I've ever experienced. So that was really special for me.
Now take me through the Olympic Village area. Did you kind of stay with your own group, or did you get to go out and mingle with the other U.S. Olympians as well from other sports?
In the village, everyone's together, so you see all these other sports in the dining hall and all sorts of stuff, so you kind of mingle around and ask people about their sports and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did you get to see anyone that you've looked up to or watched when you were a kid?
I met all high-level athletes that were there, like Shaun White, Lindsey Vonn, athletes like that, so that was pretty cool.
That's got to be cool for you, someone who, these people, Lindsey Vonn and Shaun White, they've been doing this forever. I'm sure as a kid you watched the Winter Olympics and seen those people. Just to be recognized in the same area as U.S. Olympian, how special is that for you? That's
pretty special. I'm still trying to grasp the fact that all these great athletes that I've looked up to while I was growing up, I've got the same title as them now. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around, but it's really special for me.
Now I see you got the jacket on there, the white jacket with the Olympic rings, and you've got to have some cool swag to bring home with you as well.
Yeah, I think I checked 4 suitcases on the way home. We got so much stuff.
How many did you start with?
1.
So you got three free
Nike
stuff, huh?
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, appreciate the time coming up here. Enjoy the rest of the game.
No problem.
And congratulations. Hopefully we'll see you do some more big things in the near future.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's Cody Basque here joining us during the intermission. So 1-0 Adirondack Thunder lead. We'll have period number 2 when we come back. You're listening to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here in the Curtis Limmer Thunder Radio Network.
You've got a goal in your future by making a move to Glens Falls Hospital. Like the hockey greats skating the ice with ease and speed, nurses move smoothly through rounds, pivoting and using their unique strengths to administer care to patients. Hockey is more than a game, and nursing is more than a job. Don't get stuck in the penalty box. Skate into a place where you have a voice in how care is delivered, and you are valued as a member of an elite team of healthcare providers. A place where care is elevated. Glens Falls Hospital has a place for you. Glens Falls Hospital is just a 20-minute drive to Saratoga or Lake George, and 30 minutes to Vermont. Spend time in the Adirondacks, take walks along the Hudson River, or drive 5 minutes to West Mountain for skiing and mountain biking. Glens Falls is vibrant, memorable, and ready for you. Join the team at Glens Falls Hospital.
We owe so much to our heroes in uniform, but when they come home, what awaits them? We Union, plumbers, fitters, welders, and service technicians offer training and a career. Our VIP program, Veterans in Piping, provides opportunity for a future of rewarding work. End users and contractors, please partner with us in putting these dedicated, highly trained veterans back to work. Everyone wins. Learn more at UA.org.
As the official equipment provider of the Adirondack Thunder hockey team, Sealy's is committed to being there from the first whistle to the final buzzer. For those businesses that are running on tight deadlines and need to be game ready, Sealy's will be at your service. Sealy Office Systems has 30 years experience providing fast and friendly copier service to local businesses, even the new team on the block. Want to branch out? Dial 793-5168 or visit SealyOffice.com. Sealy Office System, proud of helping the Adirondack Thunder turn a new leaf in their printing solution.
Well, the Thunder lead at 1-0. As we begin period number 2, the Thunder will have 36 seconds of Curtis Lumber power play time. Evan Pimnick here with you. Evan Pimnick here with you from Cool Insuring Arena. So it's going to be a fun second period, hopefully for Adirondack, as the Thunder look to take advantage of their third power play of the night. Brian Ward will kick things off. Matthew Brodeur will hop to the right wing. Dylan Olsen and Pierre-Luc Mercier, as well as looks like Kent Miller on the left wing. Get things going here in the second period, and we are underway. Well, the puck comes back inside of the Fort Wayne zone. Langigan, the goaltender, to his left for Bobby Shea. Sent all the way back inside of the Adirondack zone, and here's Olivier Mantha back inside of his own end for Adirondack, flipping it for Dylan Olsen. Final 20 to go on the Curtis Lumber power play. Mercier's pass broken up by Szydlowski. And now Mercier again tries it through center. Final 15 to go on the Thunderman advantage. Mercier swings it inside of the Fort Wayne zone, dropping a pass back. Hits a stick and comes back out in front for Ward, who takes a shot, and Langigan makes the save as he tangled up quickly there with Denis Kravchenko. We'll face off here to the right of Cam Langigan. Final 5 seconds to go here in the Curtis Lumber power play. 31 seconds gone here in the second period. Paul Rodriguez takes the draw as the Thunder are back to 2 defensemen and 3 forwards. Rodriguez wins the draw back here for Wallen. Far side for Mike Bergen. Back behind the net for John Edward. Back to full strength here as Edwards strong on the puck back behind the Fort Wayne cage. Throws it back to the near side corner. Throws it behind the net now for Paul Rodriguez. For Mike Bergen, a shot skips right through the goal mouth as well as it hit a man in front. Clearing out to center. Here's Tinulin fresh out of the box for the Komets, but the Thunder send it the other way. In over the line, it's Terrence Wallen taking a quick shot, and a blocker save made by Langigan. Now far side shot by Brodeur off the stick of Wallen and wide. Now Wallen again. Inside the zone, wraps it back around here for Edward. Pressed up against the wall by Binkley, as Binkley shoves Edward off the puck, and the Thunder get it back inside of the zone. For Fort Wayne, now high slot, Brian Ward. Back to the far side wall here for Adirondack. It's Edward. Far side point here for Matthew Brodeur. Back down the half wall. Here's Wallen stepping up and shooting. Save made by Langigan, who paddles at his side. Hits off the official. Laraza can't clear. Larkin shot from the blue line. Tangled up by Tinulin. Larkin's able to fall on the puck, and Brian Ward looks to skim it the other way before getting tangled up with Tinulin. Kept in by Connachter. A shot is deflected back to the far side wall. Here's Burke for Thompson through traffic, and a save made by Langigan as he holds on. 8:12 to go here in the second period. Adirondack leads it 1-0. Second period tonight's game brought to you by Aviation Mall. Face off here to the left of Cam Langigan for Fort Wayne, now to the right as Marc-Olivier Waugh will take the draw for the Komets. Wins it straight back here for Cortez. Maggio gets it right back to him, and Cortez will swing it back over for Maggio. Holds it back behind his own net for Fort Wayne. 2 minutes gone here in the second period. The neutral zone, it is Waugh stepping inside the Adirondack end and poking it back to the far side wall. Here's Thompson trying to deflect it back off the stick of Marcotte. Up the wall, now it's Waugh. To the blue line for Maggio through traffic, a shot that scales just wide. Connacher looks to pick it back up inside of his own zone. Skates aside Louis Marcotte, and it's back to center now for Marcus Basara. Basara, who spent his college years at University of Alaska Fairbanks, where he played against Olivier Mantha for quite a bit of time. Puck kept in there and shrugged aside by Mantha off of a Marcotte shot. Kept in by Bobby Shea. Near side point, delayed penalty here against Adirondack. Leonard, a shot is blocked. As now the Komets look to play it back at center. Langigan to the bench. Extra attacker, it's Denis Kravchenko. 17:09 to go here in the second period. Adirondack leads it by a goal. Here's Szydlowski. Through center now for Leonard, in over the line, turned back the other way, touched up by Troy Burke, and the Thunder shorthanded for the first time tonight. 2:59 time of the penalty, as Blake Thompson will skate off here for Adirondack. Hooking is the call. Fort Wayne to the power play for the first time tonight. Their power play sits at 17.9%, sixth in the Central Division. And yes, that's sixth in the Central Division at 17.9%. Have some power plays at 22, 21, 20, and then 19 before that. 12th in the ECHL. Thunder PK at 83.5% right now. Fourth in North Division, 12th in the ECHL. Cat's Eye Pest Control penalty kill. Cat's Eye the #1 service in pest control. Here's Ryan Lowney from behind his own net for Fort Wayne. To center now for Baptista. Back to the blue line for Lowney. Trying to deke his way inside of the Adirondack zone. Shoved back to the near side corner. Here's Desmond Bergen. Around the far side wall, Kravchenko keeps it alive for Fort Wayne. Drop pass over for Dennis Kravchenko. Former member of the Thunder. Near side wall now for Ryan Lowney. Turned aside, Kravchenko near side circle. Room out in front, but sailing it just wide was Baptista. He had a wide open net, but he couldn't get it to work. Delayed penalty here against Adirondack. A shot from Szydlowski turned the other way, and the Thunder will be down 2 men for 1 minute and 15 seconds. High stick on the play. Against Pierre-Luc Mercier, and he's not too happy about this. Thunder down 2 men, and for 1 minute and 15 seconds. As he joins Blake Thompson, and the Cat's Eye Pest Control penalty kill continues. Face off to the left of Olivier Mantha. Great look there for Fort Wayne as Mason Baptista was holding on, or had it from Kravchenko, the near side circle, and just skipped it wide. Thunder down 2 men here. Matthew Brodeur up the face-off, sends it all the way down inside of the Fort Wayne zone. And Langigan, the Komets goaltender, will hold it now for Bobby Shea. Moraza from inside of his own zone. Out through center now for Waugh. Stepping inside the Adirondack and poked aside by Matthew Brodeur. Moraza comes to help out Waugh as the puck comes back to the far side wall. The Adirondack and the Komets pick it back up. The blue line, Bobby Shea, near side for Szydlowski. Working it back down low, Szydlowski holding it in, shooting through traffic, hits a man out in front on the back door. Waugh couldn't bang it home. 37 to go in the 5-on-3. Hodgman from behind the Adirondack cage, flipping over for Bobby Shea. Here in the 5-on-3, Szydlowski. High slot, fakes his shot. Cycles with Shea. Far side now for Bobby Shea, shooting, he scores! Bobby Shea evens the game up with a power play goal. 15:24 to go in the second period. Still time remaining as well on the power play for Fort Wayne. Eighth goal of the year for Bobby Shea as he's able to beat Olivier Mantha. Szydlowski with the perfect cycle over for Shea. We're back to the corner and went cross ice to Shea from the near side circle. And he was banging it home, and Fort Wayne ties the game at 1. Thunder cleared all the way down. Still 1:02 of power play time for Fort Wayne. To center now for Lowney. And over the far side line, it's picked up and then held on to by Dennis Kravchenko at the near side blue line. Lowney, far side wall, a shot deflecting in front over the Adirondack cage. Szydlowski through his legs, nice play to try to deke around Desmond Bergen. Mason Baptista from behind the Adirondack net, over for Kravchenko, far side circle. Dennis Kravchenko holds it here. Center point for Lowney, a blast paddled aside by Mantha. Around the wall, a nice pass between the legs there by Szydlowski, but it goes all the way down the ice with 23 to go on the Cat's Eye Pest Control penalty kill as Ryan Lowney controls it from behind his own net. Lowney now through center for Shea. Even the game up just a moment ago. Olivier Mantha out to play it. Brings it against the far side wall. Picked back up by Shea. Far side point. 5 to go on the power play. Back down low. The Komets set it up on the backhand. They score. Great play there by Fort Wayne. It was Russell Jordan on the backhand, able to beat Mantha just as the penalty expired, and the Komets, with 2 goals here in the second, pick up a 2-1 lead. Well, Coach Brad Tapper talked about how offensively skilled this Fort Wayne Komets team is. They've scored 2 goals here in a little over a span of 2 minutes. The Thunder look to rebound here as they have just iced the puck to kick things off. 14:09 to go here in the second period. Adirondack trails now 2-1 after they had the 1-goal lead heading into the second period. Basara and Shea on the assist, so that's Bobby Shea's second point of the night. Goal and an assist. As Basara and Szydlowski pick up the helpers on Bobby Shea's goal that tied it at 1 at 4:36. Saved by Mantha. 14:04 left here in the second period. Adirondack trails by a goal. 2 quick goals there for Fort Wayne here in period number 2. Two goals and goal. A little over a minute apart. Thunder send it all the way down again for a Queensberry Hotel icing. 13:56 to go in the second period. Fort Wayne 2, Adirondack 1. Shots 22-13 for Adirondack. As the shots in this period alone, 5 for the Thunder and 4 for the Komets. And the Komets have scored twice here in the period. Again, the Russell Jordan goal on the backhand came just as the penalty expired. Here's Szydlowski near side for Lowney. Fakes his shot, turns to the circle, tangles up with Wallen. Lowney out in front. Puck is loose for Kravchenko, but he can't settle it back down. Komets get it back, and now the Thunder are able to retrieve it back inside of their own zone. Here's Terrence Wallen. Wallen in over the line, looking now for Edward inside of the Fort Wayne zone, but it skips all the way around for Szydlowski. Out to center out for Baptista. In over the Adirondack line, far side now for Dennis Kravchenko. Kravchenko back behind the net for Baptista. Centers one out in front, picked up by Adirondack as the puck skimmed past everyone, and Mike Bergen on his backhand gets by Ryan Lowney. And Adirondack will change here with 13:13 left in the second period. Binkley to center for Waugh. Poked aside by Troy Burke, but still maintains the puck. Raw inside the zone, sailing one wide as Marc-Olivier Waugh had a great look out in front. Puck is loose after it hits Matthew Brodeur. Mantha the save. A couple of Komets go crashing through the Adirondack crease as we'll step aside. 12:59 to go in the second period. The Komets have a 1-goal lead. Here's an Adirondack Thunder hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Listen to what contractors are saying about Anderson Windows from Curtis Lumber.
We love Anderson Windows. They're very high quality windows at an affordable price.
The nice thing about Anderson Windows is the flexibility of the products.
I love the warranty on it. We've always used Anderson Windows through Curtis Lumber. They have a great display at Curtis Lumber.
Curtis Lumber will be able to answer any of the questions.
I firmly believe in Anderson Windows. They are the best.
Learn more about Anderson Windows from the experts at Curtis Lumber. There's a Curtis Lumber near you. Find where at curtislumber.com.
Hockey in the Glens Falls region has been a tradition for over 40 years. Like hockey, we have been a tradition as well. This is Jimmy Hunt of Tree Care by Stan Hunt and Hunt's Quality Pest Control. Our experienced and highly trained staff are here year-round for all your tree care, tree removal, tree spraying, lawn care, pest control, and snowplow needs. Whether residential, commercial, or industrial, do what people have done for over 40 years and call the name to trust. Tree Care by Stan Hunt and Hunt's Quality Pest Control. 793-0804.
12:59 to go here in the second period. Adirondack trails by a score of 2-1 after Fort Wayne scored 2 goals in a minute and 8 seconds. Bobby Shea and Russell Jordan, the goal scorers. Face off one here by Fort Wayne inside of the Adirondack zone, but the Thunder are able to get it back behind their own net as Ryan Larkin swings it up the wall for Shane Conacher. Thunder can't clear. Marcotte keeps it alive for Fort Wayne. Looks to set it back up. Throws it behind the Adirondack cage for Marc-Olivier Waugh. Crisscrosses with Bobby Shea, who has 2 points tonight for Fort Wayne. Shea near side circle. Gets tripped down by Troy Burke. No penalty on the play. Basara drop pass over for Shea. Near side corner of the Adirondack zone. Out in front trying to slam it home was Shea. Tangles up with Larkin and misses it wide. Blake Thompson near side corner of the Adirondack end. Out to center now for Brian Ward. Backhand pass through the neutral zone for Troy Burke, but he can't get his handle on it as Marcotte gets it back now for Fort Wayne near side corner of the Thunder end. Pressed up against the wall by Thompson. Puck comes free to Jordan. Now it's free for Troy Burke. And Burke has some trouble stepping in the other way. Now over the line is Shane Conacher, far side circle. No help, but a quick shot and a save by Langigan. Forces an offensive zone draw. 8 minutes gone here in the second period. Thunder trail 2-1. Shots on goal are 23-14 for the Adirondack Thunder. Well, hey, Thunder fans, are you ever in the mood to try something new rather than the same old same? Well, the Burger Joint has your solution. Try the Burger Joint breakfast, sliders, and homemade onion rings located on Warren Street in Glens Falls. The Burger Joint. Make lunch exciting again. Face off to the right of Langigan. Big face off win neutral in the defensive zone for Fort Wayne as they clear it the length of the ice, and this will go the length of the ice and will be short of icing as there might be a penalty on the play here against Fort Wayne. Or against Adirondack, rather, and there is. Terrence Wallen go to the box. A high sticking call against Wallen, and the Thunder shorthanded once again. Well, Komets are 1 for 2 at the man advantage, and it should be all 2 for 2, as they scored with maybe a second after the power play expired in the last time. 8:09 time of the penalty. 11:51 to go here in the second period. Face off to the left of Mantha. The Thunder get it back and clear all the way down as the cat's eye pest control penalty kill begins. 2 minutes for high sticking for Terrence Wallen. Can cat's eye the #1 service in pest control. Baptista out through center. Knocked aside the other way by Adirondack. Lowney swings and misses. Paul Rodriguez looking to pressure back inside of the Komets end. Langigan back up the wall now for Dennis Kravchenko. And it's Lowney back behind his own net for the Komets. And he'll knock it out through center. Lowney to the far side corner of the Adirondack zone for Marcotte. Dylan Olsen steps up, knocks him aside. Kravchenko back behind the net, stealing it from Olsen. Back to the near side wall here for Szydlowski. It's John Szydlowski holding it here near side circle. Backhand pass through traffic out in front for Baptista on the back door, looking for Kravchenko. Can't feed it to him. Kravchenko gets it back, far side circle. Back down low for Baptista. Out in front for Kravchenko. Swing and a miss there for him as the puck comes all the way back out to center with a minute to go on the cat's eye pest control penalty kill. With 10:45 to go here in the second period, Adirondack trailing by a goal. Archer Tinulin, number 13 in white, back inside of his own zone. On the backhand, working it the other way for Hodgman. Kicking it to center is Tinulin. Over the line for Szydlowski. Thunder get it back to center. Now it's James Henry. Near side corner, he'll dump it in. 35 to go on the Fort Wayne power play. Lowney from behind his own net skates it through center. Here comes Ryan Lowney in over the Adirondack line. Working it the other way is Shane Conacher getting a handle on it. And Matthew Brodeur turns it back inside of his own zone for Mike Bergen. And Bergen will elect to go the length of the ice, and he will be able to clear it all the way down with 15 to go on the the cat's eye pest control penalty kill. Araza for Fort Wayne. Inside of the Adirondack zone, bangs it off the high glass. Penalty about to expire. Thunder cleared all the way down, and that will do it from the man advantage. The Thunder able to clear off a second penalty kill as Marc-Olivier Waugh looks to bring it inside the Adirondack zone. Spun the other way. Here's Wallen. 2-on-1 with Edward. Wallen waits. In front. Shoots. Save made by Langigan and cleared away by Fort Wayne. Wallen trying to beat Langigan, but Langigan an aggressive save on him as he had 2 UMass Lowell guys coming at him quickly. Bobby Shea banged up the wall there with Pierre-Luc Mercier. Blake Thompson knocks it back inside of the Fort Wayne zone. Puck hits a stanchion. Mercier with the steal out in front. A shot. Edward. And it's stopped by Langigan. Puck still loose. Harrison banging at it. And it's still loose as Harrison gets another whack. And in front, the puck squirts free. And Leonard tangling up with Edward. And we have a whistle on the play after the net becomes dislodged. 9:09 left here in the second period as John Edward has, well, his 3rd or 4th decent look of the night. Langigan making the big stop with the left pad. 2-1 Fort Wayne, 27. Shots for Adirondack, 14 for the Fort Wayne Komets. Well, the face-off remains inside of the Fort Wayne zone. No penalties on the play. Kenton Miller here to take the draw for Adirondack. And we're very close to tying the game as John Edwards on the doorstep. Miller and Kravchenko take the draw. Linesman tells him to settle down. Miller wins the draw. Brodeur, the shot that skips wide right off the faceoff. Here's Bobby Shea from behind his own net. Shea works it out to center. Picked back up by Matthew Brodeur. James Henry will work it back the other way for Mike Bergen. And now it's Miller. Near side wall for James Henry. Tees one up from the circle. A shot blocked by Baptista. Henry gets it back. High slot shooting. Sails it over the net. Trying to go over the glove of Langigan. But instead, he hits the high glass. Brodeur keeps it alive. Swings it to the near side corner for Paul Rodriguez. He gets it free from Leonard. Kenton Miller falling down, shooting. That one skips wide. Szydlowski can't clear for Fort Wayne. Kenton Miller back in front of the net. It's Curtis Leonard. Brodeur again catches the puck against the wall. Rodriguez tangling up with Leonard as Rodriguez, his stick goes flying as well as Kravchenko's. And the Komets get it back inside of their own zone. Here's Bobby Shea to the near side wall for Curtis Leonard. Leonard right into the pads of Troy Burke on the pass. 8 minutes left here in the second period. Adirondack trails by a goal. Here's Troy Burke, far side circle, runs out of room, shoots and hits the post. Oh, well, Burke got the shot to go, hit it off the near side iron. And now Basara the other way for Fort Wayne. Throws it in front, paddled aside by Mantha. This one goes up and out of play. 7:43 to go in the second period as Troy Burke was an inch away, if that, from tying the game at 2 against his former team. 7:43 to go in the second period. Fort Wayne leads it 2-1. Well, face off here to the left of Olivier Mantha. Beginning of a 3-3 here for Adirondack. The Thunder have played well in their last 10 games, only have lost 1 game in regulation. Binkley fights off the check from Terrence Wallen as Binkley skates through center. Pass too far for him. Marcotte looks to grab it back, and the Thunder clear it all the way down, and this will go for a non-icing call. Lowney shrugs aside Edward. Larkin tries to keep it alive at the blue line. This will go the length of the ice the other way, but hits off of Larkin, so no icing on the play. Here's Blake Thompson from behind his own net for Adirondack. Scales it to center. 7:10 to go in the second period. Over the line for Terrence Wallen. Cross ice feed for Edward. Fakes the shot. Throws one in front. Hits off of Binkley and goes back behind the Fort Wayne Komet net, where Hodgson looks to clear it now for Tinulin. Instead comes for Dylan Olsen at the center ice dot. Here's Desmond Bergen for Adirondack. 2 members of the Komets pressuring him here as the puck skips out to center. And Troy Burke takes over the line and draws a penalty. Burke towards the front of the cage, touched up by Lowney, and the Thunder to the Curtis Lumber power play. For time number 4 on the night, 6:44 to go in the second, and the Thunder with an opportunity to tie the game on the power play. Hodgman to the box for slashing. 4th Curtis Lumber power play opportunity of the night for Adirondack. They are 0 for 3. Troy Burke with a great play to get inside of the offensive zone. Drew a penalty as James Henry will take the draw. Wallen on his right, Conacher on his left, Burke at the bottom of the circle, and Desmond Bergen back at the blue line. Henry able to win the draw with a kick. Desmond Bergen far side for Conacher, shoots it just wide. Here's Terrence Wallen, near side corner looking for James Henry, picked up by Troy Burke, and Burke goes behind the net now for Henry. Back to the corner for Burke. Far side circle, Troy Burke puts it back up the wall for Desmond Bergen. Now Conacher out in front for Wallen. Towards the front of the cage, Langigan the save. Puck still loose. Marcotte comes away with it. And the Komets clear it, and this goes into the crowd out of play. Hopefully everyone's okay there, as they seem to be. A little alleviation of pressure there after the puck hit off the glass. Face-off now left of Langigan, 1:34 left on the Curtis Lumber power play. Hodgman for slashing. As Wallen wins the draw off the wall, looking for Henry. Puck comes to the blue line. Desmond Bergen spins it back to the near side wall for James Henry. A little bit too far for him. Here's Bobby Shea from behind his own net, and he's able to put it 200 feet the other way as Mantha steps up, comes out of his cage, and leaves it back for Desmond Bergen with 1:19 to go on his team's power play. Desmond Bergen out through center, a drop pass, hits up Troy Burke. Over the line, now it's James Henry. Henry, top of the far side circle. Collects back to the point for Desmond Bergen. Back over for Troy Burke, far side wall. Burke high slot for Henry, over back for Burke. Center point now for Desmond Bergen, 58 to go on the Thunderman advantage. Here's Conacher. Back over for Desmond Bergen. Bergen waits to shoot. Pulls it back now for Troy Burke. Burke out in front for Wallen, looking to tip it in front, but misses him with the pass. Conacher out in front for Henry. Back over for Shane Conacher at the half wall. Settles it back down. Looking away for Henry. Comes back to the near side point for Desmond Bergen. Far side now, Troy Burke steps up and shoots, and a pad saved by Langigan as the Thunder get it back behind the net with 32 to go on the Curtis Lumber power play. Here's Conacher. High slot, Desmond Bergen from Henry. Far side, Burke, a shot deflected in front. Langigan pounces on it and holds on for the whistle. 5:08 to go in the second period. Adirondack leads it, or trails by a score of 2-1. Face off now, coming up to the right of Langigan inside of the Fort Wayne zone. Ryan Ward to take the draw here for Adirondack against Mason Baptista. Puck comes out in front for Kenton Miller. Can't settle it back down. 20 to go here in the Curtis Lumber power play. Miller looking to force his way up the wall. In some trouble. 2 Fort Wayne Komets against him. And LaRaza with the steal. 8 seconds to go on the Thunderman advantage. Mercier carries it through center. Drops a pass back looking for Kenton Miller. Back to full strength now as Mercier gets it back far side wall. Thunder now 0 for 4 with the man advantage tonight. Mercier flips one out in front. No one there to pick it back up for Adirondack. Brodeur is up on the play. That leaves one man back. It's Dylan Olsen as Maggio skips to the front of the net. Now for LaRaza on the backhand. Draws a penalty. And the shot goes wide. Maggio now for Lowney. A shot through traffic. Glove save made by Mantha. But a man advantage for the Fort Wayne Komets coming up when we return. Here's an Adirondack Thunder hockey here in the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Back in 1956, Whiteman Chevrolet was Glens Falls and Saratoga's local Chevrolet dealer. And today, they're still doing what's right for their customers. Whiteman Chevrolet has been finding the right vehicle that fits their customers' wants and needs at a great price. That's why their customers keep coming back. Whiteman Chevrolet is part of the community. They're your neighbors you can trust and the home of fair dealing and friendly service for 3 generations. Whiteman Chevrolet in Glens Falls and right around the corner.
You don't have to travel far from home to get an outstanding college experience. The small classes and personal attention at SUNY Adirondack help you meet the most rigorous academic standards found at any college or university. And as a SUNY campus, SUNY Adirondack's credits transfer to many 4-year colleges. Several of our programs will lead you straight into employment, where you will see the rewards of your knowledge and skills immediately. And with on-campus housing now available, it is more convenient than ever. Call 1-888-SUNY-ADK or visit our website, sunyacc.edu. SUNY Adirondack, experience it for yourself.
4 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the second period. 2-1 lead for Fort Wayne, slashing a call against Pierre-Luc Mercier as the Thunder are shorthanded for now the 4th time tonight. Fort Wayne is 1 for 4 at the man advantage. Dennis Kravchenko to take the face-off against Paul Rodriguez. Now Mason Baptista comes in to take Kravchenko's place. Face-off won back by Baptista. Ryan Lowney, far side for Kravchenko shooting. Save made by Mantha on the rebound. Getting over to the right and making the save is Mantha. And the Thunder clear at the length of the ice. Great save by Olivier Mantha. keeping it just a 1-goal game. Lowney near side now for Baptista. In over the Adirondack line, near side corner, tangled aside by Matthew Brodeur. Mike Bergen up the wall, can't get it to go. And now getting taken down on the play, Szydlowski near side now for Marcotte. Near side point now for Lowney. Far side wall back for Kravchenko. Lowney with a blast through traffic. That skips just wide. Mike Bergen scales a man down. Szydlowski now to the point now for Lowney. Turn back the other way. And here comes Paul Rodriguez with a step shorthanded. Inside of the zone. Rodriguez shoots. Save made by Langigan trying to pick up the rebound. But Kravchenko is able to take it away from him. Penalty on the play. It's a slashing call against the Komets. And we're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey with 3.5 to go in the second. Denis Kravchenko off for a slashing penalty. Mike Bergen is talking to the referee, Alex Normandin. Said that could have been a penalty shot. And it's kind of a tough call. Paul Rodriguez didn't really have too much of a full step in front of the defenseman. Or Kravchenko in this instance, the forward. It's 4-on-4 hockey for 1 minute and 9 seconds before a 51-second Curtis Lumber power play. Conacher wins the draw back here for Desmond Bergen. Scales the blue line near side now for Troy Burke. Burke spins away from the check of Bobby Shea. Burke drops a pass back now for Shane Conacher. Conacher near side now for Desmond Bergen. 53 to go on the 4-on-4. Desmond Bergen back inside of the zone for Troy Burke. Burke scaling up the far side wall, catches a pass for Conacher. Conacher working back now, high slot for Dylan Olsen, a shot that skips all the way wide. Comes back out to center, and here's LaRaza, 3-on-1 for Fort Wayne. Olsen the lone man back, LaRaza sails one wide. Puck comes back out in front, Fort Wayne looks to recover. Puck flips on net after it hits Shane Conacher, and Mantha holds on. 2:51 to go in the second period. Adirondack trails 2-1 to Fort Wayne. Face off now to the left of Olivier Mantha. With 31 to go in the 4-on-4. And a 51-second Curtis Lumber power play as Matthew Brodeur falls down behind the net. And now that allows the Fort Wayne Komets to get possession inside the offensive zone. Maggio up the far side wall now for Waugh. Waugh tangles up with Matthew Brodeur. Loic Marcotte from behind the Adirondack cage. Out from the slot, a shot. Blocker to save made by Mantha. Penalty's about to expire. Terrence Wallen out to center. And the Thunder skiing inside the Fort Wayne zone. Out in front for Brian Ward off the stick of Maggio. And the Thunder are on the Curtis Lumber power play here for 45 more seconds. Matthew Brodeur. Backhander in front, but a great play to knock it out of midair by Marcotte. Looking for Terrence Wallen on the pass. Here's Henry. Out to the point for Dylan Olsen. Near side Brodeur shoots, save made in front. And it was loose for Wallen, but he couldn't get it to work. Maggio turns and throws it to the blue line. Olsen here for Brodeur, a shot over the Fort Wayne net. 20 seconds to go on the Curtis Lumber power play. 1:48 to go in the second period. Thunder trail by a goal. Here's James Henry from the circle. Near side for Brodeur, shoots! And I think that got blocked in front by Leonard. If not, Langigan made the save. High slot Ward shooting, save made by Langigan. Puck still loose on the doorstep. Marcotte picks it back up and throws it into the Adirondack bench, so will go out of play. 3 seconds left on the Curtis Lumber power play as the Adirondack Thunder has some great looks on that opportunity with the extra man. Langigan with a couple of big stops and some great defensive play as well from Fort Wayne. Face off here to the right of Langigan. Kenton Miller looks to take the draw. Fort Wayne wins it. And penalty comes to an end. Back to full strength. Conacher back behind the net now for Kenton Miller. Left-handed shot up the wall now for Blake Thompson. Through traffic looking for a stick out in front from Troy Burke. And now Burke holds it from back behind the net. Throws one towards the front of the cage. Hits off of Langigan and goes wide. Baptista works it back the other way. Blake Thompson can't clear. Here's Szydlowski. Bottom of the circle with a shot saved by Mantha. Puck still loose. Under a minute left here in the second period. as the puck is taken back behind the net. Blake Thompson taken down with a stick, no call on the play. Conacher out to center over the line for Miller. Miller shooting on a glove save by Langigan as he holds on. 45.9 to go here in the second. Thunder trail by a goal. Shots are 34-19 in favor of Adirondak as the Thunder have put 16 shots on net, or 17 now as they've replicated their first period shots. Fort Wayne has 10, but they have 2 goals here in the second. Brian Ward unable to win the draw for Adirondak. Fort Wayne gets it out to center. Here's Hodgman. Far side over the Adirondack line. Nice play by Desmond Bergen, but Bobby Shea steps up and shoots, and a save made by Mantha. Puck deflects out of play with 33.6 to go in the second period, and the Thunder trailing by a goal. We'll be sure to stop by Glens Falls National Bank, your trusted locally owned and operated bank since 1851. Visit one of their many Glens Falls area locations today. Well, getting hungry after the game, head on over to Downtown City Tavern just 2 blocks away for mouth-watering gourmet burgers, wood-fired pizza and wings, and the best craft brew selection on this side of the Hudson. It's Downtown City Tavern. Well, Thunder look to get the puck back at center. 27 seconds left here in the second period. It's Leonard back over for Bobby Shea. Screaming back inside of his own zone. Now to the near side wall for Baptista. Shrugs off the check there of Desmond Bergen. Puck back inside of the Fort Wayne end with a quarter left here in the second period. Baptista, the far side wall. Mike Bergen picks it back up for Adirondack. The backhand pass picked up by Kravchenko. Bobby Shea from the blue line. Last second opportunity. In front, knocked aside by Mantha. As Warren gets it back, Shea swings and misses. And the horn sounds, ending period number 2. Well, second period, shots-wise, was all Adirondack. But on the scoreboard, Fort Wayne Komets strike twice and lead it 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Well, we'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll talk about that second period with you, as well as bring your ECHL plays of the week. This week brought to you by Isaac Berkey of the Norfolk Admirals, and your Adirondack Thunder plays, top 5 plays in the month of February. You're listening to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here in the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Planning your conference or meeting doesn't have to be a hassle. Choose the Queensberry Hotel. The new local owners of the Queensberry are committed to your satisfaction with updated meeting spaces for groups from 10 to 250, breakfast, lunch, and dinner service, and a newly revitalized restaurant. On-site audiovisual services, all in our classic 1920s era downtown setting. Schedule a tour today. The Queensberry Hotel, downtown Glens Falls.
Does your credit suck, but you need a truck? 518EZFinance.com. Is your credit subpar, but you need a car? 518EZFinance.com. Is your credit great? Perfect. Get a 3% rate at 518EZFinance.com. Come visit the car shop's new Queensbury location at 1110 Route 9, a block south of the Great Escape. Stop in today at the car shop for a stress-free buying experience, complete with a state-of-the-art repair facility backed by a lifetime warranty. Only at the car shop where you come first.
Lake George Distilling Company is proud to announce they are the official craft spirit of the Adirondack Thunder. Stop into Heritage Hall during Thunder games to try out the drink of the day made with handcrafted Lake George Distilling Company spirits. After the game, head to your local bar, restaurant, or spirit shop to try the new Lake George Spirits collection featuring Lake George vodka, gin, rum, and bourbon. Indulge in seasonal favorites like apple pie moonshine and Adirondack wildfire whiskey. Located on Route 149 in Fort Anne and on Canada Street in Lake George Village. Lake George Distilling Company, Queen of American Spirit. Please drink responsibly.
Well, the Adirondack Thunder trail by a score of 2-1 to the Fort Wayne Komets after 2 periods of play. Evan Pivnik back here from Cool Insuring Arena with you, as it was Fort Wayne who got things going early in period number 2 as they would go to the power play. The Thunder would have some time on the power play to begin period number 2. That was after the Komets had a too-many-men call at 18:36 of the first period. Thunder unable to score on the man advantage. But then it would be Blake Thompson who went off for hooking, and Bobby Shea would score his 8th goal of the year, 5-hole on Olivier Mantha. Great puck movement there from the Komets. And again, it was a 5-on-3, actually, as Mercier took a penalty at 3:44. And at 4:36, Bobby Shea, his 8th of the year from Zach LaRaza and Sean Szydlowski. Time of that goal again, 4:36 for the power play tally for Bobby Shea. And then a minute and 8 seconds later, Russell Jordan, a great backhand play after getting the pass from Bobby Shea. Got it from Marcus Basara, and Jordan making no mistake on the backhand, beating Olivier Mantha. And the Komets, in just a minute and 8 seconds, score 2 goals and take a 2-1 lead over the Adirondack Thunder. But shots on goal, 17 for the Thunder. They go 17 in back-to-back periods. And only 12 for Fort Wayne for a total of 21 through 2 periods of play. The story right now, Adirondacks power play 0 for 5, and the Komets 1 for 4 with the man advantage. Should really be, well, 2 for 4 if you want to look at it, but the Komets scored just as a penalty expired for Adirondack. So the Thunder 0 for 5 through 2 periods of play with the man advantage. They have to get that going if they want some success here against this highly offensively talented Fort Wayne Komets squad. We'll step aside when we come back. You'll have your ECHL plays of the week as well as the top 5 plays of the month of February from the Adirondack Thunder. You listen to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
As the official equipment provider of the Adirondack Thunder hockey team, Sealy's is committed to being there from the first whistle to the final buzzer. For those businesses that are running on tight deadlines and need to be game ready, Sealy's will be at your service. Sealy Office Systems has 30 years experience providing fast and friendly copier service to local businesses, even the new team on the block. Want to branch out? Dial 793-5168 or visit SealyOffice.com. Sealy Office System, proud of helping the Adirondack Thunder turn a new leaf in their printing solutions.
Sign up for ECHL TV and watch every ECHL game live online. Follow your favorite teams at home and on the road. With live streaming available on your PC, iPad, and iPhone, you'll never be too far away from the action. Never miss a big goal. Relive your favorite ECHL moments in the video archives. And catch every game from around the league live. If ECHL hockey is on, it's on ECHL.tv.
2-1 lead for Fort Wayne after 40 minutes of play. Evan Pivnik back here with you. Adam Larkin, the lone goal scorer for Adirondack. Bobby Shea and Russell Jordan, the goal scorers for the Fort Wayne Komets. Well, it's been quite a week over the past week in the ECHL, with some teams clinching playoff spots and some teams still waiting to do so, as we bring you the ECHL Plays of the Week. This week brought to you by Isaac Berkey, the voice of the Norfolk Admirals.
From across America's premier AA hockey league, this is the ECHL Plays of the Week.
High slot, slap shot, off the glove, and now toward the net, he scores! Out to the blue line, shot, scores! Rodney scores! The goal scores! It's rewrite the record book! It's a hat trick. He skates in over the line. Deeks shoots, scores! In the slot, shot, save, game is over!
Welcome into another edition of ECHL Plays of the Week. From the Norfolk Admirals, I'm Isaac Berkey. The regular season is starting to wind down, and the Reading Royals have been playing so many close games of late. It seemed like somewhat of a surprise when the squad broke open the game in front of a sellout crowd in Wheeling.
Schmidt wrap around, he scores! A minute after the last one, the Royals fans erupt at West Benko. 5-1 Reading. 5:15 left in the second.
The call from David Fine on Roomba 1340, and the goal from Adam Schmidt. The Holy Cross graduate is one of 6 players from around the Philly area on the Royals roster. He sparked a local connection with centerman and Reading native Stephen Swavely. Staying in the North Division, the Adirondack Thunder wrapped up another 3-3 on Sunday afternoon when they went to Worcester to take on the Railers. After being traded from Rapid City at the trade deadline last Thursday, new Adirondack forward Kenton Miller drove over 30 hours, got in late Saturday night, and made his debut a memorable one.
As he tangles back up, here's Wallen. Back behind the net for Henry. Doherty gets in the way, now turning and shooting is Kenton Miller, and he scores! Welcome to the Thunder, Kenton Miller. And the Adirondack Thunder lead at 1-0 with 13:46 to go in the first period, as Miller picks up the puck at the circle and is able to knock it past Gillum, and the Thunder are out to a 1-0 lead.
That call from Evan Pivnik on the Thunder Radio Network. Sunday's game in Worcester opened a 4-game homestand for the Railers, and it opened it with an exciting 3-2 shootout victory. On his 30th birthday, Railers veteran defenseman Mike Cornell scored in the 12th round on his first professional shootout attempt, as the Railers, they kept their playoff hopes alive.
Now it's Cornell, round 12. Mike Cornell
turns 30 tomorrow. The defense comes in slowly down the middle. Cornell shooting. Score! Cornell, 5-hole!
Eric Lindquist on 98.9 Nash Icon with that call. Shifting down south to Orlando, the Solar Bears trailed 2-1 in the third period before Sam Jardine scored for the Solar Bears to force overtime. Didn't take long for Orlando as veteran forward Kale Kerbashian netted the winner just 26 seconds into the extra period.
Pekovic moves it back to Kerbashian. Right circle for Zirkles. Zirkles makes his way across the slot to the right side. Kerbashian, one-timer, shoots, he scores! Kale Kerbashian wins it in overtime!
That call from Jesse Liebman on the Solar Bears broadcast network. Staying in the South Division, Kelly Zajac scored twice to help the South Carolina Stingrays defeat Jacksonville on Sunday afternoon in North Charleston. His second helped the Rays regain the lead with less than 5 minutes to go in the third period, as South Carolina went on to a 6-3 victory. Here's the call from Jared Shafran on the Stingrays broadcast network.
Stephen Whitney behind the net, finds Leo Fitzgerald near side half wall, settles it back to Zajac. Behind the net, Whitney overskated it a bit, now gets back in control. Stephen Whitney back in for Leo Fitzgerald. Back behind, in front, Zajac score! Kelly Zajac on the feed in front, his second goal of the game. And the Rays have the lead with 4:15 to go.
Well, this week we'll wrap things up in Atlanta, where the Gladiators' power play went cold over the past month, only scoring one man advantage tally in their last 12 games prior to Wednesday's meeting with Orlando. The Glads would break out of that slump in a big way, going 4 for 8, which was the most power play goals by the Gladiators since 2007. It was all started by the most unlikely of heroes, as defenseman Eric Shan delivered this one-time blast for the first of 4 power play goals on the evening and the first of 2 tallies for the rookie defenseman.
Face off one by Atlanta. Right point, Drew Baker fakes a shot at the near side. Shan, one-timer, score! What a shot from Eric Shan! A one-time bomb, a 1-0 lead for Atlanta, 9:39 left in the first.
That call from Chris Treft on the Gladiators radio network. Make sure to stay up to date with everything ECHL as the regular season winds down on social media by following the ECHL on Facebook and Twitter or visiting ECHL.com. That'll do it from Norfolk. This is Isaac Berkey, and have a great week, everybody.
Here are the plays of the month for the month of February. Number 5, Terrence Wallen on the power play. Far side wall for Conacher, back over for White, sends up to the near side circle for Troy Burke. Out in front for Henry, shooting, he scores! Terrence Wallen in front. Thunder lead 2-0 on a Curtis Thunder power play goal. 3:51 to go in the first period, and a very timely power play goal as the Thunder extend their lead here in the first. Number 4, James Henry, overtime hero. Matt Willows in over the Thunder line of the high slot, edged aside by James Henry. Drew fielding up the wall now for Mercier. Backhands a pass for James Henry. Thunder will move it on a breakaway. Henry waits and shoots and scores! James Henry, overtime winner! 3-2 Thunder! Number 3, Ward to Wallen. That will try to clear it out, kept in by Adirondak. Ward out in front, a shot, score! Terrence Wallen, just 56 seconds into the first period, the Thunder strike. Number 2, overtime again. Wallen controls it through the neutral zone for Adirondak with a minute to go in overtime. Stretch pass into the zone for Desmond Bergen. Breakaway, Desmond Bergen, backhand, score! What a goal! Desmond Bergen, overtime winner! 3-2 Adirondack. A highlight reel goal for Desmond Bergen. An unbelievable move to beat Colin Stevens. And the Thunder pick up 2 big points here on a Sunday afternoon. Number 1. Drew You Believe It. Colton Salzman at his own blue line, skating it through center. Over the Adirondack line, far side circle, around Dylan Olsen on the back door. Oh, what a glove save by Drew Fielding! An absolutely spectacular glove save on an unbelievable play by Manchester. He keeps it out and keeps it a 2-1 game. Unbelievable. Well, it's a 2-1 lead here for Fort Wayne after 2 periods of play, and that was your ECHL Plays of the Week this week, brought to you by Isaac Berkey, voice of the Norfolk Admirals. Well, let's take a look at the ECHL Red Lobster Queensbury out-of-town scoreboard with a 3-3 game between the Manchester Monarchs and the Utah Grizzlies. And the 40 minutes in Manchester, 4-2 lead for the Norfolk Admirals. Christian Horn has a hat trick over Greenville tonight. 4-0 lead for Worcester at the end of 2 periods over Wheeling. And no score between Idaho and South Carolina. In South Carolina tonight, 1-0 lead for Florida over the Orlando Solar Bears in Estero tonight. Midway through the second period, 2-0 lead for Cincinnati over Indy. No score between Kansas City and Tulsa, as well as no score between Toledo, who's at Quad City tonight. And later, Wichita is at Rapid City. Well, we gave you your recap. We gave you your ECHL Plays of the Week. The only thing left to give you is the third period of tonight's game, and that's coming up when we come back as you're listening to Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network. Third period, and we return between the Adirondack Thunder and the Fort Wayne Komets.
You've got a goal in your future by making a move to Glens Falls Hospital. Like the hockey greats skating the ice with ease and speed, nurses move smoothly through rounds, pivoting and using their unique strength to administer care to patients. Hockey is more than a game, and nursing is more than a job. Don't get stuck in the penalty box. Skate into a place where you have a voice in how care is delivered and you are valued as a member of an elite team of healthcare providers. A place where care is elevated. Glens Falls Hospital has a place for you. Glens Falls Hospital is just a 20-minute drive to Saratoga or Lake George and 30 minutes to Vermont. Spend time in the Adirondacks, take walks along the Hudson River, or drive 5 minutes to West Mountain for skiing and mountain biking. Glens Falls is vibrant, memorable, and ready for you. Join the team at Glens Falls Hospital.
The Thunder Radio Network, Hits 95.9, WCQL Queensbury, and Talk 1450, WWSC Glens Falls, locally owned by the Regional Radio Group. Business owners, do you need communications at breakaway speeds? Are you tired of being in the penalty box with slow, unreliable internet? Well, light the lamp with PrimeLink's high-speed fiber internet solutions that allow businesses to communicate effectively and efficiently to their neighbors around the globe at the speed of light. To score a top-shelf customized breakaway solution available with no obligation that puts your company on the power play, call Mark Sidati, your local PrimeLink sales executive now. 518-324-9320. PrimeLink, proud supporters of your Adirondack Thunder.
We owe so much to our heroes in uniform, but when they come home, what awaits them? We union plumbers, fitters, welders, and service technicians offer training and a career. Our VIP program, Veterans in Piping, provides opportunity for a future of rewarding work. End users and contractors, please partner with us in putting these dedicated, highly trained veterans back to work. Everyone wins. Learn more at ua.org.
Cold temperatures and shorter days mean that winter is here. Be prepared with CarQuest Lake Georgiana Marine. They have all your winter needs, such as car batteries, plow parts, snowmobile batteries, plugs, and belts. Visit Jody, Bob, and the rest of the crew for the professional, friendly service you deserve. CarQuest Lake Georgiana Marine is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3. Just a short drive away, located at 1827 Route 9, or call them at 518-668-3800. CarQuest Lake Georgiana Marine. One call, and that's all.
Well, the Adirondack Thunder trail by a goal as we head into the third period of tonight's game here on Scout Night. I'm Cool Insuring Arena, and Evan Pimnick here with you from the Dave Stringer press box. From the Cool Insuring Arena, we want to say hello to all the scout groups in attendance today. We appreciate you stopping by and picking up a little Thunder hockey on a Friday night. Thunder continue their 3-3 tomorrow when they take on the Wheeling Nailers at 3 p.m. from Cool Insuring Arena. Get your tickets now with the Uno's Pizza 4-pack. 4 tickets to the game, 4 Thunder hats, 4 games of bowling from Kingpin's Alley, as well as 4 games or 4 personal pizzas from Uno's Pizzeria and Grill. Over a $200 value, yours for just $64. Call 518-480-3355 or visit ECHLThunder.com. Thunder wrap up the 3-3 on Sunday in Brampton. A 2 o'clock start. Thunder playing a lot of games in a little amount of hours. Playing tonight at 7. 3 o'clock tomorrow and 2 o'clock on Sunday, all in the same time zone. The Thunder get a few days off without games. They will head to Manchester Friday to take on the Monarchs for a battle Friday and Saturday, and the place they call Vegas, Manchester, New Hampshire. Well, Thunder had 17 shots in the first and then another 17 shots in the second. As we're ready to begin period number 3, the Thunder are 0 for 5 with the man advantage tonight. And that's been a story as well as discipline. Fort Wayne's 1 for 4 when Alpha Man. Well, Kenton Miller to take the draw here for Adirondack. James Henry and Paul Rodriguez on his sides. Mike Bergen and Matthew Brodeur back here on defense as the Thunder win the opening draw. Paul Rodriguez bangs it in the zone. Here's Kenton Miller in front. Shooting save by Langigan on the rebound. Henry denied by a sprawling Cam Langigan. As Brodeur behind the net now for Henry. Spinning it behind the Fort Wayne net. Looking for Rodriguez. Able to get it to him near side corner. Up to the point now for Mike Bergen. Back down the wall for Rodriguez. Over for Mike Bergen. Far side point now for Matthew Brodeur. Through traffic just wide. Rodriguez on the doorstep trying to go backhander. But again, it's knocked aside by the Fort Wayne defense. Brodeur down in the corner. Picked up by Henry. Spinning one for Kenton Miller. Nice pass over for Rodriguez. Through traffic. That hits a man in front. Szydlowski now for Fort Wayne. Chipping it out to center. Mike Bergen gloves it down there. Enters the offensive zone for James Henry. But it's picked off by Mason Baptista, who tangles up with James Henry. And now the Komets were able to spin it to center as Bobby Shea, who has 2 points tonight, a goal and an assist, looks to take it aside from Dylan Larkin. Thompson picks up the puck for Adirondack. Troy Burke, puck knocked off his stick for Marcotte, thrown through the Adirondack cage. And just a bit wide, as now Marcus Basara tries to step around Blake Thompson, as well as Adam Larkin. And Larkin up the far side wall now for Shane Conacher. Komets keep it inside the offensive zone. Here's Lowney to the near side circle. No one there to pick it up for Fort Wayne, as it's Blake Thompson. Able to clear it now for Shane Conacher. And the Komets keep it alive. Basara near side corner throws one in front. No one there to pick it up for Fort Wayne. Thunder look to come the other way. Brian Ward in through center. And over the Komet line, and he steps in offside. So we have a whistle. 18:20 to go in the third period. And the third period of tonight's game is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Bring your ticket stub to Outback Steakhouse's Queensbury location for a free Bloomin' Onion dine-in only. Limit 1 ticket per party per table. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. Great flurry to begin the third period, though, for the Adirondack Thunder. Zach Dooley.
Thanks for having me, Evan.
Well, we love to have you here. I know you're nursing a little bit of a hoarse voice tonight.
A little bit, so I'll probably keep the talking a little bit low, but glad to hop on for the third period.
Well, we appreciate that. True hockey guy, Zach Dooley, making sure that he makes his presence known even when he's not feeling 100%. Neutral zone face-off. Here for Adirondack is Mercier. Wins it now for John Edward, and Edward has been noticeable here in his first professional game. Plenty of chances to try to hit the back of the net, including a couple where he was absolutely robbed by the goaltender Langigan. 2 minutes gone here in the third period. Adirondack with a few good opportunities thus far. As now Wallen controls it behind the Fort Wayne net, throws it around in front looking for Edward. Picked off by Hodgman, skating it inside of his own zone, working it out to center on the backhand for Maggio. In over the Adirondack line, high slaughter shot, that skips just wide. Moraza back to the blue line, past John Edward, back out to Bobby Shea. And 2 points tonight for Bobby Shea. Goal and an assist. And Bobby Shea was someone who wasn't even scheduled to make the whole trip, let alone play. Taken off reserve earlier today after colliding with Garrett Thompson of his own team. Komets have it back inside of their own zone. Here's Shea out to center for Kravchenko. Near side for Szydlowski. Inside the Adirondack zone. Steps in, fights off a couple of checks. Backhands it down the wall looking for Baptista. Thrown back behind the net now for Paul Rodriguez. Rodriguez back around the net for Matthew Brodeur. Brodeur to center for Kenton Miller. Miller, 27 in red, over the Fort Wayne line, top of the far side circle. Spins back behind the Komet net. It's pushed off there by Leonard. Thunder keep it alive. Far side wall, it's Matthew Brodeur. Near side now for Mike Bergen. A shot through traffic deflected, and a pad save made by Langigan. And the Komets clear at the length of the ice for another Queensberry Hotel icing as Adirondack trails by a goal with 16:39 to go in the third period. And a great start to the third period for Adirondack.
Seems like whoever's shooting at this far end to our left here has been the offensive aggressor. Fort Wayne really controlled the second period. Adirondack was the better team in the first and has been the much better team here so far in the third. A great flurry here and a good response from the Thunder after, the Komets overturned a 1-goal lead. Adirondacks come out really strong here in the third, pushing for that tying goal.
Olivia Mantha has been strong as well, keeping it just, the 1-goal game. Out to center, it's Troy Burke. Getting it back now from Blake Thompson. Thompson to center. Over the line, it's Larkin. Conacher going to knock it for Brian Ward. Puck comes out in front. Larkin taken down. Burke on the backhand. He hits the post, thrown back out in front. Score! Burke made the initial play. Not sure if Larkin got a piece on the way in. Might have been Brian Ward. Tie game, 16-16 to go in the third period. Well, if that was going to be the type of goal to tie the game, that's right. I said you predicted it, because Langigan has been so sharp here in tonight's game. And it took a great play from Troy Burke, who hit it off the post. And Brian Ward able to knock it in.
What a great combination of skill and grit on the same play. Look at that silky smooth move by Troy Burke. Throws it back, and wouldn't be surprised if they changed that goal to Larkin, or Ward had the initial shot. Hard to tell if it was already over the line by the time that Larkin got a piece of it.
And Larkin was on the doorstep, but what was really underrated in that play, I just saw in the replay, was that was more of a pass by Troy Burke over for Brian Ward after he hit the post.
It looked like he hit the post on his first effort, and then he sent the puck back to the slot. A very heads-up play by Burke after a nice move, and it's his second assist of the game.
26th of the year for Brian Ward, Troy Burke, and Adam Larkin on the assist. That's Henry. Now far side corner of the Fort Wayne zone. Thunder have tied it. Henry with a shot that gets blocked by Binkley. Taking a little bit of a beating in this tonight, Jason Binkley is. Rodriguez, a shot from the circle. That had some firepower on it, but it goes wide of the net. Dylan Olsen settles it back down at center. Kenton Miller up the wall now for James Henry inside of the Komet zone. To the blue line for Desmond Bergen, but it's hopped over his stick by Zach Loraza. And now it's Paul Rodriguez. Neutral zone for James Henry as the crowd's back in it here at Cool Insuring Arena. Langigan's able to make the save and turn it aside. And here come the Komets out through center. Szydlowski over the line for Kravchenko. Works his way through now for Baptista. Far side circle. Whips one out in front past Mike Bergen. Now Maggio with a shot redirected by Kravchenko. Out in front on the nice play by Baptista. But the puck was at the feet of Kravchenko, and now the Thunder the other way. Troy Burke. High slot for Adirondack. Turning it back to the corner for Shane Conacher. Tangles up with Maggio behind the net. Now it's Brian Ward, who tied the game at 2 moments ago. Another turnover here by Fort Wayne. That end has not been kind to them inside of their defensive zone in tonight's game. Couple of defensive turnovers. Mike Bergen with a nice play to get Baptista out of it. Brian Ward now through center for Adirondack. Looks to go for a behind the back pass for Shane Conacher. Now Thompson has some trouble with it as Marcotte pressures him. Marcotte turns one towards the front of the net. No one there to pick it up for Fort Wayne, but it's Bobby Shea at the near side blue line. To the corner for Wah, out in front, blocked as the puck never made it towards the front of the net. Marcus Basara tangling up with Shane Conacher. Basara still hangs on to the puck. Now his stick is lifted by Blake Thompson. Wah out to the circle for Marcotte. Now near side Bobby Shea with some room, shooting, and a save by Mantha as he holds on with 14-19 to go in the third period. We are tied at 2 as the Thunder have hit 40 shots tonight. At 17 in the first and 17 in the second. The chances have been there for Adirondack. Langigan's been strong as well.
He has been, only his second career professional game. He made his debut on Wednesday in Reading, got the victory. He's been very sharp, a goaltender, right out of his NCAA career to come into, a couple of tight games. Good on him to play this well.
Well, the Komets won 5-4 in overtime back on Wednesday night. That sealed their spot in the Kelly Cup playoffs. So it's Curtis Leonard behind his own net now for Fort Wayne. Wrapped to the near side wall. As the Komets look to bring it out to center, it's Jordan who has a goal in tonight's game. Russell Jordan, far side circle, backhand behind the net. Picked up by Desmond Bergen. And Bergen through the legs of Mercier, kept alive by the Komets as it hits the skate of Jordan. And Mantha is able to get the left pad out. Moraza pressured out to center on a nice play by John Edward. Talked about him before, as noticeable John Edward has been tonight. Hasn't hit the score sheet yet, but has plenty of opportunities to do so. Desmond Bergen now from his own blue line. Out to center, it's gloved down by Hodgman. Over the Adirondack line, Mercier shoves him aside. James Henry tries to get it back through center, but the Komets move it back the other way. It's Szydlowski, pushed off by Henry, retreats back inside of the neutral zone for Binkley. And now it's Lowney. Shipping it to the near side corner of the Adirondack zone, chasing it back, Mike Bergen, the captain of the Thunder. At the near side wall, cut off by Szydlowski. Fights off the check of Kenton Miller. Szydlowski near side corner, behind the net now for Baptista. 13:05 to go in the third period, tying at 2. Szydlowski inside the Adirondack zone. Mike Bergen trying to knock it away from Szydlowski on the backhand, deflected towards the front of the cage by Kravchenko, holding it near side corner, out to the high side for Lowney. A shot gets blocked. Here come the Thunder the other way. Mike Bergen has James Henry up. Henry inside of the zone, can't handle the puck as him and Kravchenko were about even as the puck entered the offensive zone. Henry still holds on here. Far side circle now for Matthew Brodeur. High slot, Kenton Miller shooting, deflected in front, and goes wide of the cage. Stretch pass broken up now by Adirondack. Brodeur over the line for Tim Harrison. They're going to kick it at the high slot, unable to reel it to himself. And now Marcotte looks to work his way inside the Adirondack zone, but Brian Ward gives him a rough time. Shane Conacher, near side wall of his own zone. Waugh keeps it alive. Back behind the net now, it's Blake Thompson trying to stick it aside from Marcotte. Broken stick on the play. It's Marcotte's. Puck gloved down there by Maggio. Hand pass called against the Komets. 12:05 to go in the third. We are tied at 2 from Cool Insuring Arena. Here's an Adirondack Thunder hockey here in the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Listen to what contractors are saying about Anderson Windows from Curtis Lumber.
We love Anderson Windows. They're very high quality windows at an affordable price.
The nice thing about Anderson Windows is the flexibility of the products.
I love the warranty on it. We've always used Anderson Windows through Curtis Lumber. They have a great display at Curtis Lumber.
Curtis Lumber will be able to answer any of the questions.
I firmly believe in Anderson Windows. They are the best.
Learn more about Anderson Windows from the experts at Curtis Lumber. There's a Curtis Lumber near you. Find where at curtislumber.com.
You don't have to travel far from home to get an outstanding college experience. The small classes and personal attention at SUNY Adirondack help you meet the most rigorous academic standards found at any college or university. And as a SUNY campus, SUNY Adirondack's credits transfer to many four-year colleges. Several of our programs will lead you straight into employment, where you will see the rewards of your knowledge and skills immediately. And with on-campus housing now available, it is more convenient than ever. Call 1-888-SUNY-ADK or visit our website, sunyacc.edu. SUNY Adirondack, experience it for yourself.
2-2 the score here in the third period. And the third period of tonight's game brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Bring your tickets down to Outback Steakhouse's Queensbury location for a free Bloomin' Onion. Dine in only, limit 1 ticket per party per table. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. Evan Pivnik and Zach Dooley here with you from Cool Insuring Arena. Tied at 2 between the Fort Wayne Komets and the Adirondack Thunder. Marcus Basara near side circle of the offensive zone. Now for Waugh, throwing it out in front for Marcotte. Unable to hand it to him. Now here come the Thunder the other way. Conacher here for Troy Burke. In over the Komets line. Nice drop pass in the other way as the Thunder look to center of pass, but it's broken up by Leonard and thrown out to center. We've seen some nifty passing plays. Not that one there as Dylan Olsen's pass gets broken back up. Hodgman inside the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Moved aside by Pierre-Luc Mercier. Over for Troy Burke, who loves the puck down now over the line for Desmond Bergen. High slot Desmond Bergen with the backhand pass. No one home to pick it up for Adirondack. Bobby Shea near side corner of his own zone for Fort Wayne. 11:07 to go in the third period. 2-2 the score. Shots are 40-24 in favor of Adirondack. Maggio inside of the Adirondack zone. Edward from behind his own net for the Thunder. To the near side wall, kept alive by Tinulin. Maggio's shot deflected away by Olivier Matthew. Paddles it off the end boards and gloves it out of midair with 10:48 to go in the third period as we are tied at 2. Olivier Matthews made some big saves in tonight's game as well. You want to look at all that big ones, and especially the one back in the second period when he went left to right to make that big pad save.
Yeah, a really nice save. He made the first stop through traffic, slid to the left to pick it out with the right pad, and we talked about Langigan being in only his second career game. Only 4 professional games between the two of them. Both these guys were playing college hockey 2 weeks ago, so to see this good of goaltending at both ends has been pretty impressive.
Well, face-off won by the Thunder. It's kept alive by Fort Wayne. A shot just goes wide. Terrence Wallen the other way now for Adirondack through the neutral zone. Backhanded off of his stick. And Mercier recovers inside of his own end for Mike Bergen. Neutral zone for Matthew Brodeur. Dumps it back to the far corner boards of the Fort Wayne zone where the puck takes a strange carry and goes out of play. The puck was on the ice when it entered the Fort Wayne zone. I'm not sure how that skipped out. In any event, it does. 2-2 the score, 10:27 to go in the third period. Thunder are at home tomorrow as the second game of the 3-3. Wheeling Nailers come to town for a 3 p.m. St. Patrick's Day start. Should be a fun one.
Adirondack and Worcester switch opponents here. Fort Wayne heads to Massachusetts, and the Nailers are currently in Worcester tonight. So, another big divisional matchup for the Thunder, with tonight's against Fort Wayne being the last of the season outside of the North Division.
Well, the Komets put it out of play. Let's see if it's a penalty on the play, and it is. The Thunder will go to the Curtis Lumber power play at a very opportune time. 2-2 the score, 10:19 to go in the third period. And the Thunder, who are 0 for 5 on the man advantage, will this be a great time to break the shot?
It definitely has. I think the power play has really had its moments too. It hasn't been bad. 0 for 5 doesn't look great, but the chances have been there, in my opinion.
They really have. If you want to look at some of the past power play opportunities where the Thunder have gone 0 for 5 in a similar scenario, they haven't been able to re-enter. But tonight, they've been able to get inside the offensive zone multiple times. But I think Langigan's made some big saves as well during the man advantage.
Yeah, it's 40 on the night, so definitely made a good chunk of those on the power play with 5 Thunder opportunities.
Well, Binkley's off for a delay of game. Off the draw, Kravchenko sends it all the way down here for Fort Wayne. Mantha, the goaltender, out to play it. Leaves it back for Dylan Olson, and the Thunder look to get to work on the man advantage. 6th power play of the night for Adirondack. Mercier now through center, works it in over the line, far side. Mercier still hangs on, far side now for Brodeur. Near side wall for Dylan Olson, keeps it alive inside the offensive zone, behind the net for Kenton Miller. Now for Mercier, out in front for Ward, a shot and a save by Langigan. He gets down to stop Brian Ward. 30 seconds down to the Curtis Lumber power play, under 10 to go here in the third. We're still tied.
Golden opportunity there. You saw the top of the stick enter the net. It almost looked like the puck snuck through there. A really nice play by Miller and Ward to create that opportunity on the power play.
I had the same vantage point as you from up here. I thought that puck might have trickled through, but Langigan able to close up and make the nice stop. Alert play by Dylan Olson as well. He was kind of in no man's land from the near side of the offensive zone. Puck out in front for Conacher on the backhand. Great play by Langigan. Comes out with the stick and paddles it aside from Conacher, who was ready to make a move to try to maybe fool him. Well, Desmond Bergen back inside of his own zone with 1:13 left on the power play for Adirondack. Pass underneath the stick of Troy Burke all the way down. No icing on the play as the Komets just able to clear after it hits the stick of Desmond Bergen. Wallen quick to re-enter. 1 minute left in the Curtis Lumber power play. 2-2 the score. 9:17 to go in the third. Burke in front here for James Henry. Back behind the Fort Wayne net. He crisscrosses with Burke. Henry back to the far side corner for Troy Burke. Moves to the far side circle. Throws it back to the far side corner here for James Henry. Henry controls it here. Center point for Desmond Bergen. Through traffic, a shot blocked by Markov. Thunder get it back. It's Henry up the far side wall again for Troy Burke. Center point for Desmond Bergen. Works down near side, a shot for Conacher. And somehow Langigan makes the save. He looked behind him and all. Conacher can't believe it. As we remain tied with 31 seconds left in the Curtis Lumber power play. 8:50 to go in the third.
Second time on this power play that Langigan has looked behind him. A nice chance from the Thunder, moving the puck from right to left. Bergen feeds Conacher from the one-timer from the left-hand circle. And a nice save there just to shut the door just in time.
Great puck movement there from Adirondack. Nothing too fancy. Desmond Bergen got over for Shane Conacher, and that was one of those that I thought beat Langigan. He's able to slam the right pad against the blocker to keep it tied at 2. Thunder set it up again. Dylan Olson near side circle for Mercier with a blast, and another save by Langigan, this time with plenty of traffic in front. 24 to go in the Curtis Lumber power play, and this is the strongest the Thunder power play has looked tonight.
A lot of great opportunities there. Pierre-Luc Mercier has scored from that spot on the ice before, so a good shot, a good screen there by Kenton Miller in front to make the save a little bit more difficult.
Miller to take the draw here for Adirondack with 24 to go on the Thunder man advantage. Komets win the draw and send it the length of the ice. Mantha out to play it for the Thunder. Lets it go as Brodeur and Raza tangle back up as Brodeur gives it away, but the Thunder able to recover. Brian Ward trying to knock it aside Hodgman, and now Ward through center, steps aside Hodgman. With 5 seconds left on the Curtis Lumber power play, we're back to full strength as Dylan Olson grabs it back inside of his own zone for Mercier. Binkley out of the box. And now Mercier out to center. Over the line for Matthew Brodeur. Top of the far side circle. Shooting. That hits off the man in front. And hits off the back wall. Brodeur out in front. Swings it towards the front of the cage. Not sure if Langigan got a piece, but the Fort Wayne Komets deny another offensive opportunity for Adirondack. Matthew Brodeur skates back in. Near side circle, gets tugged off the puck. As the puck comes back to the far side corner of the Fort Wayne end. Here's Maggio wrapping it back around the wall for Bobby Shea as Paul Rodriguez was coming in quickly on him. Kravchenko can't get behind Blake Thompson. He'll try it again though. Baptista helps him out. Furthers it inside of the Fort Wayne offensive zone. Adam Larkin wraps it back around here for John Edward. Can't escape Kravchenko. Kravchenko high slot looking for Szydlowski. Stolen by Adirondack. Now through center it's Tim Harrison. In over the Fort Wayne line from the circle. Harrison on the backhand to the front of the net. And Langigan turns it aside. Here's John Edward. Near side now for Paul Rodriguez. Back behind the net for Edward. Protecting the puck well from Bobby Shea. 7:15 to go in the third period. Tied at 2. Puck finally squirts free for Kravchenko. And it's Mason Baptista who puts it back inside of the Adirondack end, and Blake Thompson will have it from here. 7 minutes left in the third. Tied at 2. Marcotte takes it away. Marcotte towards the front of the cage. Knocked aside by Adirondack as Edward will look to center for Tim Harrison. Fort Wayne gets it back. Marcotte near side circle. A shot saved by Mantha. Put just wide there by Waugh as Larkin swings it back up the wall for Edward. Two men collide and both go down as Tim Harrison picks the puck up at center, and the Thunder skate it through the neutral zone, and Harrison guides it in now for Brian Ward as the Thunder make a change with 6.5 to go in the third period. Tied at 2 here from Cool and Schering Arena. Marcotte, who's seen plenty of ice time in this game against his former squad. Stripped of the puck now by Shane Conacher. In over the Fort Wayne line, drops it back for Troy Burke. From the slot, a shot that skips just wide. Thinking got a piece in front. Conacher, far side now for Desmond Bergen, throwing it in front for Troy Burke. Picked back up by Fort Wayne, who's just able to clear it. And Desmond Bergen re-enters here for Adirondack, throws it on cage. Langigan the save with 6:04 to go in the third. 2-2 is the score. Some mistakes from both sides defensively, but I think the Adirondack Thunder still need to have that one little step and take advantage of a Fort Wayne turnover, which they haven't really been able to do so yet.
A lot of kind of back and forth hockey there. Neither team ceding much on the defensive side of the puck. Like you said, it could come down here. Which team is going to capitalize on that ill-opportune turnover? And for the Thunder, they've had their opportunities. Langigan's closed down a couple of those opportunities. We'll see what they can do here with now 6 minutes left in the third.
Matthew Brodeur, far side wall inside the Fort Wayne zone, protecting the puck well against LaRaza and Shea. Brodeur still pins it up against the half wall. Looks to get it back from Hodgman. Now comes free for Henry. Near side circle for Mike Bergen with a blast, and that sails above the cage as Langigan is protecting his face on that one. That was a high riser. James Henry, near side circle, skates beside Leonard. Henry wants to throw it out in front for Kenton Miller. Puck comes free out in front for LaRaza, and he's just able to clear the zone. Odd man rush the other way for Fort Wayne. Over the line, Tinulin out in front, a shot, big pad save made by Mantha. Oh, he was able to shut the door on Hodgman. And the Thunder look to turn it back the other way. Kenton Miller out through center, dodges a check. Nice backhand pass for James Henry. Inside of the Fort Wayne zone, drops it back for Miller. Near side circle, out in front for Henry, turning towards the front of the net. And a nice right pad save there by Langigan. Miller gets it back for Adirondack. Up the blue line for Larkin, who's chased back now through center by Baptista. And Baptista in over the Adirondack line, knocked off the puck by Blake Thompson. Larkin back up the wall for Tim Harrison. Baptista down low inside of the Adirondack zone. His team's changing behind him. And now Mercier here for Larkin. Through center for Mercier. Szydlowski's without a stick. Mercier near side circle shooting. Saved by Langigan. He holds on. We will step aside. 4:35 to go in the third. We are tied at 2. Shots are 46-26 in favor of the Thunder as we're still waiting to break the tie. This is Adirondack Thunder Hockey here on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Guiding you to home comfort, Northern Heating and Air.
Imagine Imagine if you got up this morning and you could only take a cold shower because your hot water heater wasn't functioning. That's not a pleasant surprise. The truth is, the average life expectancy of a hot water heater is around 10 years, and hot water heater flood damage due to leaks is rarely covered by homeowners insurance. Northern Heating and Air can help you prevent any cold showers and water damage with a brand new, reliable, and more energy efficient hot water heater installed by their expert technicians. Call Northern Heating and Air today for your hot water heater installation quote at 745-0401. That's 745-0401. Northern Heating and Air, guiding you to home comfort.
Guiding you to home comfort. Northern Heating and Air.
2-2 the score, 4:35 left here in the third period. Evan Pivnik and Zach Dooley here with you from Coolin Shearing Arena. And it's been a fun one thus far. Oh, you're getting hungry. After the game, head on over to Downtown City Tavern, just 2 blocks away from mouth-watering gourmet burgers, wood-fired pizza and wings, and the best craft brew selection on this side of the Hudson. It's Downtown City Tavern. Face off the right of Langigan. Ward wins the draw. Mike Bergen from the blue line. Out in front, tipped by Ward. And that's where the puck stops. Out to center now for Szydlowski as Mike Bergen chops it back up the wall. Kept in, though, by Baptista. At the left wing half wall, Brian Ward able to spin it through a pair of legs to Troy Burke. And Burke chips it back to the near side corner where Brian Ward's chasing after it. Ward and Leonard tangle back up. Puck free now for Hodgman. Justin Hodgman, 88 in white. Out to center, it's Troy Burke the other way with 4 minutes left here in the third period. Mike Bergen now for Matthew Brodeur. Brodeur back over for Mike Bergen for Shane Conacher. Up the wall looking for someone other than a Fort Wayne Comet. Turned back inside of the Adirondack zone. And now Mike Bergen will turn it here inside of his own end. 3:42 to go here in the third period. Chipped in by Adirondack, but quickly put out to center by Fort Wayne. As the Komets aren't giving the Thunder any bit of room here inside the offensive zone late in the third period, tied at 2. Dylan Olsen held on the play, no penalty on the play. As now the Komets set back up. Cortez, far side, throws it behind the net now for Tinulin. Works it back for Marcotte. Near side blue line now for Maggio. A shot through traffic. That deflects behind the Adirondack net. Dylan Olsen can't get to it. It's Tinulin behind the Fort Wayne net. Waiting to go maybe on the backhand. Mantha looks to dive on it. He does. And gets the whistle with 3:07 to go in the third period. Looking at the puck on the stick there of Tinulin as a little skirmish happens behind the Adirondack net. He was trying to lift that puck up over the shoulder of Mantha from a really odd angle.
He was, and a good job by Mantha just kind of holding his post there. Gets a cover for the whistle. After a tough non-call there, Dylan Olsen kind of obstructed going back and led to a nice chance for Fort Wayne, but Mantha does a nice job to keep this one tied.
2-2 the score late in the third period. 3:07 to go. This is one of those games where if you're the Adirondack Thunder, going into this game, a point would be nice. And now the light's kind of at the end of the tunnel, and you're 3 minutes and 7 seconds away from getting a point. In a night where Worcester is up, and it's a tie game in Manchester, where it was a little while ago.
Every point at this point in the season, is very valuable, whether it's 1 or 2. So you obviously want to always get 2, but overtime is a big goal here for the Thunder.
Mercier inside of the Fort Wayne zone. A shot gets deflected back to the far side corner. Mercier picks it back up. Ryan Lowney gets stepped aside by Mercier, but Mercier can't get the puck free. Szydlowski the other way. Out to center, and Desmond Bergen will fire it back in for Adirondack. Under 3 minutes to play here in the third. Cam Langigan, the goaltender, out to play it. Leaves it back for Ryan Lowney. Up the wall now for Batista. Pass through center, looking for Kravchenko. This is a two-man. Szydlowski as well. Now Jason Binkley back inside of his own zone with 2.5 to play in regulation. 2-2 the score. Baptista in over the Adirondack line. Pounded down there by Mike Bergen. Mercier out to center now for Troy Burke. Gets held a little bit as he was lunging for the puck. But instead comes back to the near side corner, and here's Olivier Mantha from behind his own net. Leaves it back for Desmond Bergen. Desmond Bergen out to center. Nice play inside of the Fort Wayne zone. Leaves it for Troy Burke. Out in front, a shot, and never getting a shot off on the doorstep was Edward. He's had so many chances tonight, unable to pull the trigger though. Tinulin, drop pass, high slot. Hodgman a shot. Great block by Mike Bergen, who's in a little bit of discomfort as the puck comes back out to center. Under 2 minutes to play in regulation, 2-2 the score. Shots 46-26 in favor of Adirondack. Hodgman back the other way. Back end of the side by Matthew Brodeur. Thunder come out to center. Troy Burke. High slot shoots. Save made by Langigan. Puck comes free. Now for Hodgman. Great play at the blue line to pick that one up. And here's Larazza over the Adirondack line with a shot. That skips just wide. Troy Burke gets it back here at center with 1:24 to go in the third. Burke ladles it in for Matthew Brodeur, but Brodeur didn't step up as Troy Burke thought he was going to. And now Dylan Olsen from behind his own net for Adirondack wraps it back around to his own blue line for Brian Ward. Underneath him goes to Maggio, and now to center it's James Henry as we're reaching the final minute here in regulation. 2-2 the score. Maggio from behind his own net. Work to the far side corner. Kenton Miller trying to line him up. 55 seconds to go here in the third period. 2-2 is the score. Basara out to center here for Fort Wayne inside of the Adirondack zone. Sends down Adam Larkin. No penalty on the play, although the fans wanted one. Basara trying to knock free of Desmond Bergen. Now back to the near side corner. It's still held up by Fort Wayne. It's Binkley pressured up against the wall by Terrence Wallen. 30 seconds now left in regulation. 2-2 the score. Here's Desmond Bergen from inside of his own zone. Works it out now to center. This will go all the way down, but I believe it will be short of a Queensberry Hotel icing, and it will be. Thunder get a big change in with 20 seconds left here in the third period. 2-2 is the score. Maggio, a nice spin move inside of his own zone to get past James Henry. Works his way in the other way. Adirondack gets the puck back through center. Terrence Wallen in over the Fort Wayne line. With 7 seconds left to play, it's picked up by Baptista behind his own net, lifting it out to center. Paul Rodriguez will chase it back, and the horn will sound, and the Thunder will go to overtime with Fort Wayne. Well, 1 point has been earned by Adirondack. They would love to get the second one. Back-to-back games going to overtime for Adirondack. And the last time they did that, the last game they played was against Worcester when they went to the overtime period, and then 12 rounds of a shootout.
Just last game on Sunday, the longest shootout in Thunder franchise history. The Thunder, I think have played a little better in overtime at home this season than they have on the road. You can just think of all the overtime winners back-to-back. A couple weekends ago, James Henry with the overtime winner against Reading on February 24th. A day later, Desmond Bergen with a silky smooth move in overtime for a 3-2 win over Wheeling. So Adirondack has had the momentum on their side this year in overtime games at home, and we'll see what they can do now against one of the best teams in the league, the Fort Wayne Komets.
Well, this is the Bullpen Tavern overtime. Bullpen Tavern. Visit them in the heart of downtown Glens Falls, where there is always overtime. A lot of back and forth in this game. Actually, a lot of that third period felt like it could have been similar to the pace of an overtime period, but obviously more men on the ice.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't say much in the third period just because of the up and down pace. There was so much action at both ends of the ice that really there wasn't much opportunity for me to, which kind of feels like an overtime. The 3-on-3 seems like it's always an up and down game. There's not too much downtime, so it was a really good play third period, and we'll see if that continues into OT.
We'll see who Brad Tapper puts out here. Desmond Bergen. Looks like James Henry and Kenton Miller. Kenton Miller obviously a little more rest than he had the last time he played in the Thunder uniform. Drove 36 hours and then played a day later, but now he's had the week to settle in. We're underway here in the overtime period. Thunder get it back inside of their own zone. Desmond Bergen, James Henry, and Kenton Miller, the three-man unit here for Adirondack against Bobby Shea, Luke Marcotte, as well as Marc-Olivier Waugh. Kenton Miller back at his own blue line, working at the center now for Desmond Bergen. In over the Fort Wayne line, top of the far side circle. Here's Desmond Bergen. High slot here for Kenton Miller. Miller, far side circle inside the Fort Wayne zone. High slot now for Desmond Bergen, looking to skate away from Marc-Olivier Waugh. Desmond Bergen back behind the Fort Wayne net, spins it around, tries to tuck it home, unable to do so. Just misses it. As James Henry's forced against the wall. Marcotte turns it back the other way. Bad line change by Adirondack. That leads a breakaway the other way for Marcotte. In alone, shooting, saved by Mantha. That was an abysmal line change for Adirondack as now James Henry skates in one-on-one, top of the near side circle. High slot now, Conacher weaves his way through. High slot, Conacher shooting, and a save made by Langigan. Ward out to the blue line again. Well, the Thunder line changes have been not great at all here in overtime. Ward tries to dangle his way past Bobby Shea. Near side corner of the Fort Wayne zone. Ward crisscrosses with Conacher. Now moves it for Troy Burke, high slot. Burke spins back around the Fort Wayne zone with 3.5 left here in overtime. Conacher gets it right back out to center. Here's Brian Ward as the Thunder make a change. Ward looks to work his way over the line. Nice play by Brodeur to step back. Here's Troy Burke, near side of the Fort Wayne zone from the circle, high slot. Burke will now move for Paul Rodriguez. Shooting as it's blocked in front. Brodeur got a piece of him. Szydlowski now for Fort Wayne. Pressured back by Paul Rodriguez. There's Dennis Krebchenko. Working his way over the line. Paul Rodriguez gets it back for Adirondak. And now it's Troy Burke the other way for the Thunder. 3 minutes left in overtime. We are tied at 2. Thunder finish up a change. Here's Paul Rodriguez. In through center. Over the Fort Wayne line. Dangles his way through towards the front of the cage. Can't get that one to go up. As Olsen gets it back for Adirondak. His team changing. Olsen shoots, and that sails above the net. His team finally finishes a change, and Terrence Wallen gets it back at center. It's now Wallen, Mercier, and Olsen on the ice for Adirondak. Nice play by Mercier as we're halfway through the overtime. Wallen steps in over the line, high slot. Now for Mercier on the one-timer, couldn't get it to him as Szydlowski got his stick in the way. Mercier pulls it free. Works back out in front for Dylan Olsen. Tipped and knocked away by Langigan as Olsen was tripped in front as now the Komets come the other way on a possible odd man rush. Lowney skates in over the line, drops it back for Szydlowski. Working it back the other way for Baptista as that pass somehow found its way to be complete. Baptista near side wall. Thunder pull it free. Possible 3-on-2 if they can hurry. Mercier now for Shane Conacher near side circle. Conacher waiting, spins around the Fort Wayne net, looks for some options. High slot Mercier. Down low for Dylan Olsen, who's been out there for quite a bit. He'll get the pass off and he'll go off for a change. He's noticeably tired. Conacher now for Brian Ward. Ward can't get past LaRaza. He's in and falls down and then trips Brian Ward in the process. As now Olivier Mantha gets it back and we have a whistle on the play. And we're going to see what the call is here.
I think it might have been too many men against Fort Wayne. The official here is pointing to the Fort Wayne penalty box.
1:37 left here in overtime, and penalty box doors have not opened.
Maybe offsides?
Might have been an offside play. In any event, what a crazy overtime we've had. Zach LaRaza, who had a great opportunity on a breakaway, fell down. Plenty of great chances for both sides here in overtime with 1:37 left. Bobby Shea back inside of his own zone for Fort Wayne. We reach 90 seconds left here in overtime. Stretch pass from Marcotte, a little bit too far for him. Troy Burke out to play it. Gets it back from Olivier Mantha. Looks to knock it back up the wall. Now Burke forces a steal. Looks to step inside of the Fort Wayne zone. Troy Burke out in front, cuts to the high slot, shooting, and not. What a save by Langigan on Desmond Bergen as Bergen snuck in there. Lost stretch pass looking for Bobby Shea. Olivier Mantha up the far side wall. Thunder come the other way. It's Troy Burke. Far side as Waugh is back. Burke tries to dangle, but a nice play by Waugh. He's able to backhand it the other way. Marcotte can't grab it. Thunder keep it alive. Burke out in front for Conacher. Backhand score! Shane Conacher ends it in overtime! And I can't think of a better way to get 2 big points for the Adirondack Thunder than an unbelievable play as Shane Conacher finishes it here with 52 seconds left.
That was pretty. You saw Brad Tapper go the 3-forward look every time he could put Conacher, Burke, and Ward on the ice. It pays off there. What a great passing play, a great hesitation move from Conacher for the goal. That's a huge win for the Thunder.
Final 3-2 tonight for the Adirondack Thunder over the Fort Wayne Komets. The Thunder were 1 shot shy of 50. They settle at 49. Fort Wayne had 27. Well, we'll step aside and have the postgame show when we come back. As Adirondack with 2 huge points after a big overtime win over Fort Wayne. Here's an Adirondack Thunder hockey here in the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network.
Adirondack Thunder Hockey is brought to you by Weichman Chevrolet, 79 Dix Avenue, Glens Falls. Northern Heating and Air, guiding you to home comfort at 745-0401. Hunt's Pest Control on the Boulevard, Queensbury. The Car Shop, 1110 Route 9, a block south of the Great Escape. SUNY Adirondack, 690 Bay Road, Queensbury. The Lake George Distilling Company, the Queen of American Spirits, Route 149 in Fort Anne and Canada Street in Lake George Village. CarQuest Lake George Auto Marine, 1827 Route 9, Lake George. And the Health Authority in the Midtown Plaza in South Glens Falls.
Downtown Glens Falls, Queen is back. The new owners of the Queensbury Hotel are returning this 1920s era icon to her glory years, restoring the original terrazzo lobby floor, updating the banquet and restaurant facilities, and preparing for a complete renovation of all guest rooms. If you're planning a wedding, banquet, or business meeting, or welcoming out-of-town guests, we invite you to rediscover the Queensbury Hotel in downtown Glens Falls.
Word of Life camps are designed to help students and families grow in their faith. Each camp experience provides unique speakers and music with fun, high-energy activities, new friends.
How many breaks?
Just one's fine.
Okay.
Coming back year after year. So get away and join us for an experience you'll never forget. Visit WOL.org today. That's WOL.org.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 30th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, official signage provider, BFL Canada and Sudden Special Risk, sponsor of the 2018 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The Migrate Group, your source for game-worn jerseys. CCM Hockey, official on-ice equipment provider. Officious Lighting, the preferred lighting partner of the ECHL. Geico, official auto insurance of the ECHL. Sherwood Hockey, official puck provider. Sports Tape, official sports tape provider. Warrior, official performance sportswear provider. SweatX, the official laundry detergent and odor eliminator of the ECHL. And the Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider of the ECHL. Catch all the live league action by logging on to ECHL.tv and be sure to download the ECHL mobile app for Android and Apple handheld devices.
The Thunder postgame show is brought to you by Jim's Glass Service, 6 Street in Queensbury. Jim's Glass Service. Hey, thanks for the break. Absolute Auto Credit, the home of worry-free wheels and guaranteed credit approval. Visit AbsoluteAutoCredit.com. Balls, Kitchens, and Baths, and Glens Falls Tile and Supply. Decades of experience all under one roof. 287 Dix Avenue in Queensbury. Adirondack Truck Repair, Big Bay Road, right off the Northway in Queensbury. And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union Local 773. Now for the postgame show, here's Evan Pivnik.
Well, the Adirondack Thunder saw one of the top teams in the ECHL, the Fort Wayne Komets, come to town, and it took 3 periods and then 4 minutes and 13 seconds for the Adirondack Thunder to knock them off as Shane Conacher wins it in overtime for the Adirondack Thunder. Well, welcome into the postgame show here from Cool Insuring Arena. Evan Pivnik here with you as the Adirondack Thunder again got things going early on, or the Adirondack Thunder welcomed this Fort Wayne Komets team. And for the Thunder, they had some great looks early on in the first period. Fort Wayne was not settled in at all in their defensive zone, and that really didn't really come back to hurt Fort Wayne, but still plenty of opportunities for Adirondack on the Fort Wayne turnovers, but unable to get it past the goaltender tonight, Cam Langigan, who was unbelievable for Fort Wayne, playing his just his second professional game for the Fort Wayne Komets. He made 47 saves tonight on 50 shots. Again, the 50th shot was the game-winning goal for Shane Conacher, as Adirondack picks up a big win tonight, a big 2 points, as some of their games are still going on tonight. As the Thunder, for right now, are tied for first place with Manchester, but the Monarchs are still going at it tonight with the Utah Grizzlies. That's late and that's heading to overtime. So Manchester picks up a point, and they are back in the sole possession of first place as they have 78 points now, and the Thunder have 77. So the Thunder move to 35-21, 3-4. Fort Wayne drops to 42, 16, 3-1 with the overtime loss. So they get a point as well. They move to 88 points as they already have their spot clinched in the Kelly Cup playoffs. The Thunder still waiting to punch their ticket to the dance, as Coach Brad Tapper says. Well, let's go over the scoring recap from tonight's game. Well, for the Thunder, they had some great looks and some power play opportunities as well, as a couple of those came to an end. It was Leonard, Basara, and Shea, all in the last few minutes of the period for the Fort Wayne Komets on the power play. The Thunder unable to strike there, but it was Adam Larkin getting on the board first for his first. Now Conacher sets it back up. Far side circle here for Adirondak. Throws one down in front. Near side, a shot, score! Adam Larkin, his first professional goal, and the Thunder lead it 1-0 with 8:47 to go in the first period. Well, Adam Larkin with a great shot off of a beautiful feed from Shane Conacher, Troy Burke on the secondary apple there for Larkin's first professional goal at 11-13. That would be the score after one period of play. The Thunder would have a lot of shots, 17 in the first against the Fort Wayne Komets 9. Well, it'll take 4 minutes and 36 seconds for the Komets to pull even in the second period. They would go to the power play. It would be a 5-on-3 after Blake Thompson went off for hooking at 2:59. Pierre-Luc Mercier went off for high staking at 3:44, and Bobby Shea scores as Zach Lazara and Sean Szydlowski pick up the assists. And then a minute and 8 seconds later, just as Mercier's penalty expired, just a mere second after it expired, it was a backhander from Russell Jordan that beat Olivier Mantha. Bobby Shea and Marcus Basara on the assists on that goal. That gave Fort Wayne a quick 2-1 lead. And then for the Komets, they were buzzing in the second period. They put 12 shots on goal. The Thunder put 17, but the Thunder were 0 for 5 after 2 periods of play on the power play. So something needed to change, but we head to the third. And 3 minutes and 44 seconds in, Adirondak found a way to finally beat Cam Langigan, and Adirondak pulled even. Now from Blake Thompson. Thompson to center. Over the line, it's Larkin. Conacher looking to knock it for Brian Ward. Puck comes out in front. Larkin taken down. Burke on the backhand. He hits the post, thrown back out in front. Score! Burke made the initial play. Not sure if Larkin got a piece on the way in. Might have been Brian Ward. Tie game. 16-16 to go in the third period. So the Thunder were able to tie it up there. Brian Ward is 26th of the year from Troy Burke and Adam Larkin. Tie game, 3 minutes and 44 seconds into the third period, as there will be more penalties served in the third period, as it would be Binkley. Jason Binkley went off for a delayed game penalty at 9:41. But the Thunder would be unsuccessful. That would be their 6th missed power play of the night. They finished 0 for 6. We'd head into overtime. The Thunder would have put 13 shots on net in the third period. Fort Wayne would put 5. Thunder had some great opportunities the other way, and we head to overtime. So Adirondak gets the point, and the Thunder were almost victims of a couple of really terrible line changes. One that sent Loic Marcotte the other way on a breakaway, and Olivier Mantha made a big save there. Made a few really big saves tonight as well, as he turned aside 25 of 27. But it would be a great play from Troy Burke to set up Shane Conacher, and the Thunder would get point number 2. Burke tries to dangle, but a nice play by Waugh. He's able to backhand it the other way. Marcotte can't grab it. Thunder keep it alive. Burke out in front for Conacher. Backhand score! Shane Conacher ends it in overtime! Well, it was a beautiful play from Burke to Conacher as he got in. We made for Langigan to make the mistake. He did. He went down. Conacher pulled it to the backhand and beat him, and the Thunder pick up 2 points tonight at 4:13 of overtime. Shane Conacher is 15th of the year from Troy Burke and Brian Ward. So the Thunder are able to get 2 more points tonight, and we'll take a look at the standings in just a little bit. But first, your GA Bowfuels 3 stars of the game. First for the third star for the Fort Wayne Komets with a goal and an assist, Bobby Shea, who got the scoring started for Fort Wayne and then picked up the apple, the primary helper on the goal from Russell Jordan. So 2 points for him in 1 minute and 8 seconds. The second star for the Thunder, who had a goal and an assist tonight, the first 2 points of his pro career, Adam Larkin. And the first star tonight with the overtime game-winning goal, his 15th of the year, Shane Conacher. So those are your J.A. Bow Fuels 3 stars of the game tonight, as the Adirondack Thunder scored 3 goals. And every time the Thunder score a goal at home this season, Associates of Glens Falls will be donating $25 per goal to the Open Door Missions Backpack Program, which feeds 300 students in 10 area schools every weekend. And tonight the Thunder scored 3 goals, which adds up to $75 donated by the Associates of Glens Falls. A big victory tonight for Adirondack, as the Manchester Monarchs have gone to overtime with Utah. And they have won in overtime against Utah. So 2 points there for the Monarchs as they move to 79. The Thunder hang tight, just 2 points behind Manchester with 77. Worcester takes down Wheeling by a final score of 6-1 tonight. So the Thunder still have some more time before they can clinch a spot in the Kelly Cup playoffs. But the Thunder helped their cause tonight by picking up 2 points with an overtime victory over the Fort Wayne Komets. We want to thank Benji back in the studio, making sure everything rolled smoothly on the Curtis Lumber Thunder Radio Network and wherever you may be listening to or watching, maybe on ECHL.TV as well. We thank you. I want to thank the sponsors as well for making sure everything everything they do night in and night out. Our next broadcast comes to you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Puck drop between the Adirondack Thunder and the Wheeling Nailers. And the pregame show will begin at 2:50 p.m. Hope you enjoy your St. Patrick's Day and spend it with us tomorrow. And then you can do whatever you want after the game or before the game. We can't really restrict you too much, but get to enjoy some Adirondack Thunder hockey tomorrow as the Thunder will take on the Wheeling Nailers. Well, the Thunder, again, pick up 2 points in overtime victory as Shane Conacher, his 15th of the year, is able to get the second point for the Thunder tonight at 4:07 of the overtime period. Again, tomorrow, the Wheeling Nailers come to town. We'll catch you then. For everyone here, this is Evan Pivnik. Have a great night, folks, and we'll speak to you tomorrow on St. Patrick's Day.